Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app and you can read the text version of this quiz. Now for regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. We have started a new channel, Civils Academy. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. Now let's start. What is Ganga Avlokan, which was in news recently? So it is a museum and it is a first of its kind museum, and it is a museum on river Ganga, and it is in Haridwar, and Haridwar is in Uttarakhand. Recently, Uttarakhand was in news as it partnered with ITBP for the promotion of tourism in the state. India announced establishment of a green strategic partnership with which country? So this country is Denmark, and under this partnership, India and Denmark are going to cooperate in the fields of energy, environment and various other sectors. The capital of Denmark is Copenhagen and the currency of Denmark is Danish krone. BSc partnered with which bank to empower small and medium enterprises, that is SME. So for this purpose, BSc partnered with Yes Bank. Recently, Yes Bank was also in news as former MD and CEO of Yes Bank, Rana Kapoor, was fined by SEBI. And he was fined by SEBI and the fine was 1 crore rupees. CatQ, that was in news recently, is a virus said to have emerged in which country? So this country is China. And recently ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, issued guidelines in this context. This virus comes from Culex mosquitoes and pigs. Amnesty International has announced to quit from which country? So it is India. Now this Amnesty International works in the field of human rights. It is a non-governmental organization, that is NGO. Recently, NGO said that the government of India has frozen its bank account. Which automobile company has shortlisted 5 startups to promote innovation in automobile sector? So this was done by Maruti Suzuki, and this was done under MAIL program. What is this MAIL program? It stands for Mobility and Automobile Innovation Lab program. So this is an initiative associated to Maruti Suzuki. Until which month RBI has extended the enhanced borrowing facility for banks under MSF? So it is March 2021. So under MSF, RBI has extended this timeline by 6 more months. It is important to note that recently RBI had increased the limit of borrowing under MSF from existing 2% of NDTL to now 3%. Which astronomical observatory of India has completed 5 years of mapping stars? So AstroSat has completed 5 years of mapping stars. AstroSat was launched by ISRO. ISRO is Indian Space Research Organization. Now this AstroSat is India's first multi-wavelength observatory. Which Indian actor has been conferred with United Nations Development Programme's SDG Special Humanitarian Action Award? So Sonu Sood has been conferred with this Special Humanitarian Action Award of UNDP, that is United Nations Development Programme. Flipkart and which general insurance company has launched insurance cover for online financial frauds? So for this purpose, Flipkart has collaborated with Bajaj Allianz. So this is to provide insurance cover for online financial frauds. Which banking entity has partnered with American Express to offer its premium products on American Express network? So for this purpose, SBI Cards has partnered with American Express. Now because of this partnership, the premium products of SBI Cards will now be available on American Express network. India is set to acquire 72,000 assault rifle from which country? So this country is USA. And recently DAC, that is Defense Acquisition Council headed by our Defense Minister, approved this proposal of acquisition of 72,000 assault rifles from USA. Which e-commerce giant has launched a new fulfillment center in Tamil Nadu? So it has been launched by Amazon. So with this new center, more and more products, applications and furniture can be stored in this storage and fulfillment center in Tamil Nadu. Next question is, which public sector organization has signed with Ministry of Power and set its target for year 2020 to 2021. So NTPC has signed with Power Ministry. So the new targets were fixed for next year, and these are 340 BU of electricity generation and 15 MMT of coal production. Next question is, which technology company has launched a campaign named Make Small Strong? So this has been launched by Google. Name of the campaign is Make Small Strong. The idea is to support small business. So this campaign intends to encourage the people to buy local products and to promote their favorite retailers by posting reviews. So based on those reviews, more and more people will get to know about these local retailers, and that is how the local products will be promoted. Next question is, Niti Aayog signed Statement of Intent with Embassy of which country on decarbonization and energy transition agenda? So what is the meaning of this term? Decarbonization. That means less carbon emission. So for this purpose, India has signed agreement with Netherlands to create new technological solutions for cleaner energy so that we can reduce the carbon emission. Next question is, which supersonic cruise missile with indigenous boosters has been successfully tested? So this is BrahMos missile. This has been successfully tested. Actually, a new version of surface-to-surface supersonic cruise missile of BrahMos has been tested. Next question is, which country announced to impose a gradual ban on using wild animals in circuses? So this was announced by France. Now please note that this ban does not apply to the wild animals in other permanent shows and in zoo. That means in zoo they can keep these wild animals, but the ban will be gradually applied on the circus. That means in circus you will not be able to use wild animals. So this is related to France. Next question is, Sheikh Nawaf has been sworn in as the Amir of which Gulf country? Right answer is Kuwait. So recently, the previous ruler of Kuwait passed away. He was Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmad Al-Jaber Al-Sabah. So now, Sheikh Nawaf has been sworn in as the new ruler of Kuwait. Which organization has been selected as the co-runner-up of United States Citizen Diplomacy Award? So this is a non-governmental organization, and the name of this organization is SEHGAL Foundation. It has been selected as the co-runner-up of Citizen Diplomacy Award. Now this award is given to recognize the efforts by the citizens and organizations to strengthen the foreign policy of USA around the world. Next question is, which company has started exploration of Kolar gold fields after 16 years? So MECL, that is Mineral Exploration Corporation Limited, has started the exploration of Kolar gold fields in Karnataka. This MECL is a PSU under Ministry of Mines. Actually, there was a dispute related to Bharat Gold Mines Limited, and that is why the exploration was stopped. Now, the exploration has started after 16 years, and it has been started by Mineral Exploration Corporation of India. Next question is, Aspirational District Program is an initiative of which organization? So, it is an initiative of Niti Aayog. The objective is to ensure the development of most backward districts of our country, and for that purpose, this program has been started by Niti Aayog. Now, what is Niti Aayog? Niti Aayog is an executive body. That means neither it is mentioned in the Constitution of India nor it is constituted by any law. So it has been constituted by an executive action. That's why it is an executive authority. And it is the successor of Planning Commission. Next question is, what is the new ideal weight for adult Indian man as per the National Institute of Nutrition? So now the new ideal weight for adult has been changed from 60 kg to 65 kg. For women, it has been changed from 50 kg to 55 kg. So recently, the National Institute of Nutrition has revised these key indicators. Now this National Institute of Nutrition is under ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research. Next question is, which company has proposed to invest in the retail arm of Reliance? So this company is General Atlantic. This is going to invest in the retail arm of Reliance. Previously, it invested in Jio. Next question is, what is the name of initiative by Defense Ministry to identify innovations created by the Indian Armed Forces personnel? So the name of this initiative is IDX for 4G. So this initiative was recently launched by Defense Minister. Next question is, India is to set up a high-level monitoring committee with which country to review the projects implemented with LOC provided by India. Here LOC means line of credit. So this country is Bangladesh. And for that purpose, a high-level monitoring committee will be set up. Which union ministry launched the CSIR technologies for rural development? So this ministry is Ministry of Science and Technology. Recently, Dr. Harshvardhan, who is our present Minister of Science and Technology, launched this CSIR technologies for rural development. Now what is CSIR? It is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. And this CSIR technologies for rural development is a joint initiative of CSIR, UBA, that is Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, IIT Delhi, and Vibha, that is Vijna Bharati. Which decade is named as the decade of healthy aging as per the WHO? So it is 2020 to 2030. Recently this was designated by WHO, that is World Health Organization. Now every year on 1st of October, the International Day of Older Persons is celebrated. And the theme of this year was pandemics, do they change how we address age and aging? What is the largest handicraft and organic products marketplace of India which is to be launched? So the name of this marketplace is Tribes India, and this was launched on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti. This was launched by Minister of Tribal Affairs. Present Minister is Arjun Munda. Which technology company has committed to pay $1 billion for next 3 years to the publishers for their content? So this will be done by Google, and Google is going to launch a new product, and it is Google News Showcase, and it will be launched first in Germany and later it will be launched in other countries like Belgium, India and Netherlands. Which country is to send the world's first mining robot named Asteroid Mining Robot into space? So this will be done by China. The objective is to explore the resources in the space, and this will be sent by China through a private company, and the name of this private company is Origin Space. So it is a Beijing based company. The ASIIM, that is Ambedkar Social Innovation and Incubation Mission, has been launched by which ministry? So this is an initiative by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Present minister is Mr. Thawarchand Gehlot. Now this is an initiative to provide the venture capital funding support for the scheduled caste. So this is for venture capital funding support. Which state has decided to give 30% of new PDS shops to women? So this has been decided by Rajasthan government to provide 30% of the PDS soaps to the women. PDS is public distribution system. So it is a system through which food is provided to the vulnerable section at a very subsidized cost. The fast patrol vessel Kanaklata Barwa has been inducted in which defense force? So it has been inducted in ICG, that is Indian Coast Guard. Now Kanaklata Barwa was a freedom fighter from Assam, and Kanaklata Barwa played a key role during QIM, that is Quit India movement. ISRO is set to launch Venus mission by which year? So it will be launched by 2025. ISRO is Indian Space Research Organization. Now for this purpose, ISRO is going to collaborate with CNES. CNES is a French government space agency. So it is the space agency of France. Space agency of USA is NASA. Space agency of India is ISRO. Sports Minister of India has unveiled a new logo for which organization? So it is Sports Authority of India, that is SAI, and it has been launched by Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju. Operation My Saheli has been launched by which organization? So this has been launched by Indian Railways, and this has been launched by Southeastern Railway. Idea is to improve the safety of women passengers. So as a pilot project, pilot means on trial basis, it has been introduced in 3 trains. These 3 trains are Howrah Yashwantpur Duronto Special, Howrah Ahmedabad Special and Howrah Mumbai Special trains. which African nation celebrated its 60th Independence Day on 1st of October? So it is Nigeria. Now recently, Nigeria was also in news because of Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. So Dr. Akinwumi Adesina is from Nigeria, and recently he was re-elected as the president of African Bank Group, and he is from Nigeria. Mubadala Investment, which is set to acquire 1.4% stakes in Reliance Retail, is from which country? So it is associated to UAE, and it is Abu Dhabi based sovereign wealth fund, and it is going to acquire 1.4% stakes in Reliance Retail. Now this is going to be investor in Reliance Retail Ventures Limited. Previously, General Atlantic and Silver Lake also decided to invest in Reliance Retail. Next question is, India has committed to build 100-bed hospital and 22,000-seater stadium in which country? So this country is Maldives. Capital of Maldives is Malé. And India is going to collaborate with Maldives for these projects, and for that purpose, India has provided LOC, that is line of credit. Next question is, Defense Ministry has signed a contract with which company for 10 lakh hand grenades? So for that purpose, agreement has been signed between EEL, that is Economic Explosive Limited, and Defense Ministry for the supply of 10 lakh hand grenades. Now previously, these products were either imported or these were made by OFB, that is Ordnance Factory Board. Next question is, what is the name of Global Virtual Summit of Overseas and Indian Resident Researchers to be conducted in October 2020? So the name of this summit is Vaibhav, that is Vaishvik Bharatiya Vigyanik Summit, and the summit is going to create a single platform for science and technology related discussions. Next is, India announced a debt service relief under G20 Debt Service Suspension Initiative to which country? So this country is Myanmar. It is important to note that it is a part of G20 Debt Service Suspension Initiative. Next question is, which Indian diplomat has been appointed as India's next ambassador to Cambodia? So C is Devyani Uttam Khobragde, and C has been appointed as India's next ambassador to Cambodia. Next question is, which organization has developed a highly purified anti-sera for COVID-19 treatment? So this organization is ICMR, and it has developed this anti-sera for the COVID-19 treatment. And for that purpose, ICMR has collaborated with Biological E Limited. And this Biological E Limited is a Hyderabad-based entity. Next question is, which state has topped in the Swachh Sundar Samudaik Shauchalaya, that is community toilets campaign? So this is Gujarat. So Gujarat is on top position, and that's why Gujarat won the first prize in this Swachh Sundar Samudaik Shauchalaya campaign. On the other hand, Tirunelveli district in Tamil Nadu won the Best District Award. Next question is, which body has initiated anti-dumping probe against two products imported from China? So this is DGTR, that is Directorate General of Trade Remedies, and this DGTR is from Department of Commerce, and this Department of Commerce is related to Commerce Ministry. So the probe has been initiated against the import of HFC blends and decor paper. What is HFC? It is hydrofluorocarbon. Next question is, which institution has released the time use survey in India report? So this has been released by NSO, and this is first such time use survey which was conducted, and this has been conducted by National Statistical Office, and this National Statistical Office is under MOSPI, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Next question is, the e-way bill is implemented by which body? So it is implemented by CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, and this is under Department of Revenue and Finance Ministry. So what exactly is e-way bill? It is electronic way bill, and it is used, or it is generated for the movement of goods from one place to another place. Next question is, the DGQI, that is Data Governance Quality Index survey, is conducted by which organization? So this is conducted by Niti Aayog. Actually, this is conducted by the DMEO, that is Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office, and this is an attached office of Niti Aayog. And this was conducted, that means this survey was conducted to assess the performance of different ministries and departments in the implementation of different central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme. RBI approved the appointment of committee of directors to run which bank? So this bank is Dhanlaxmi Bank, and this is going to be a 3-member committee, and this 3-member committee has been approved by Reserve Bank of India, and this 3-member committee is headed by G. Subramania Iyer. Madhabi Puri Butch, who was seen in news, is the first woman whole-time member of which organization? So C is associated to SEBI, and C is the first woman whole-time member of SEBI, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India, and C is also the first from the private sector to be appointed as a SEBI board member. Singapore-based GIC and TPG Capital have acquired stakes in which Indian company? So this company is Reliance Retail. So GIC is a Singapore-based sovereign wealth fund. Now please read about this sovereign wealth fund. What is the meaning of this term? Sovereign wealth fund. Okay, so GIC and private equity firm TPG have acquired stakes in Reliance Retail. So GIC is going to acquire 1.22% stakes and TPG Capital is going to acquire 0.41% stakes in Reliance Retail. World Day for Farmed Animals is celebrated on the birth anniversary of which leader? So it is celebrated on the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhiji, that is on 2nd of October. And this year a campaign was started, and the campaign was pledged to fast against slaughter, that means slaughter of animals. Indian Navy undertook the process of aerial seeding to increase the green cover in which city? So this is Visakhapatnam. Now what exactly is this aerial seeding? See, in aerial seeding we distribute seeds or we throw seeds on the ground from air using some device, for example throwing seeds via drone or a plane or helicopter. So this is a technique of sowing seeds by spraying them from air. Which organization initiated live trading and other operations successfully from its disaster recovery site? So this is related to NSE, that is National Stock Exchange. Now what exactly is this disaster recovery site? It is a site that is something like backup. In case of any problem with the main site, that means main location, the regular functioning can be operated from this disaster recovery site. So disaster recovery site is necessary for all critical institutions, so that in case of any problem in the main site, the operations can be organized from the backup center. Indian Army has signed a project with which company for strengthening SEHGAL communication network? So for this purpose, Indian Army has signed agreement with ITI Limited. Now this ITI Limited is a telecom and defense equipment manufacturing company. It is a government company, and Indian Army has signed agreement with this company for SEHGAL communication. Which car manufacturer has announced to withdraw from Formula 1? So recently, Japanese automobile manufacturer Honda announced its withdrawal from Formula 1 racing by the end of 2021. Now it is important to note that Honda has been the engine supplier for F1 teams Red Bull and Alfa Tauri. The European Union has recently imposed sanctions against which country? So this country is Belarus, and people are protesting that the recent presidential elections were not fair and they should be fair elections. That's why there are widespread protests, and in this context, European Union has imposed sanctions on Belarus to pressurize the president. Which famous building was illuminated with Gandhiji's image along with his message? So it was Burj Khalifa. It is in Dubai. Dubai is in UAE. Which country hosted the historic 4th World Conference on Women? So this country was China. And this event is popularly known as Beijing Declaration. And this year it completed 25 years, so it is Beijing plus 25. Recently, the 25th anniversary of this 4th World Conference on Women was organized. And from Indian side, our Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani participated in this event. The Maritime Patrol Aircraft P-8A, which was seen in news recently, is associated to which country? So it is associated to USA. Now, why it is so significant? See, recently this landed at Port Blair in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and this landed for refueling. And for this purpose, that means for the logistic support, both countries, that means India and USA, have signed LEMOA. What is LEMOA? It is Logistic Exchange Memorandum of Agreement. The Global Symposium India PV Edge 2020 is organized by which union ministry? So this was organized by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy in collaboration with NITI Aayog and Invest India. PV stands for photovoltaic. So it is related to the solar manufacturing, and this event was organized for promoting the new technologies in the field of solar manufacturing. Next question is, COPAT is a military exercise between India and which country? So it is a joint exercise between India and Bangladesh. Recently, two exercises were in news. First is the SCOPAT, second is Bongo Saga. So both these are between India and Bangladesh. COPAT is Coordinated Patrol. Now, the SCOPAT and Bongo Saga, that means such exercises were organized as a part of Sagar initiative. What is Sagar? It is security and growth for all in the region. Next question is, which fintech company launched its own mini app store? So this company is Paytm. It has launched its own mini app store. It is important to note that recently the app of Paytm was blocked by Google Play Store on the grounds of violation of policies. Recently, Paytm was also in news as Paytm First Games appointed Sachin Tendulkar as the brand ambassador. It is important to note that Paytm is a fintech company. Headquarters is in Noida in Uttar Pradesh. Next question is, the Election Commission has issued instructions for postal ballot facilities for elderly people above what age? So now, Election Commission has recently issued new instructions for postal ballot for those who are above 80 years of age and people with disabilities. Next question is, India along with which country has moved to WTO for waiver on agreements related to IPR, that is intellectual property rights, in the context of COVID-19. So this country is South Africa. Now, what exactly is the issue? See, because of the intellectual property rights, there are certain limitations on the medical products. That means not all countries can manufacture them because that would be a violation of intellectual property right of original creator. So many countries said that because of these intellectual property rights, this is creating a problem for providing affordable medical products to the COVID-19 patients. Therefore, these rights should be suspended to prevent COVID-19. So this country is South Africa, and India and South Africa have formally submitted a request to WTO for a waiver. Waiver means a temporary relief. Next question is, as per the recent statement from NABARD, which category of banks incurred a loss of over 2200 crores in this fiscal? So RRB incurred a loss of 2200 crores. What is NABARD? It is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Now recently, NABARD was also in news as it started a sanitation literacy campaign in Karnataka. And this campaign was started under WASH initiative. What is WASH? It is Water, Sanitation and Hygiene. Next question is, who is the only Indian to feature in the Forbes list of the world's most influential CMO? That is Chief Marketing Officer. So he is Ravi Santram, and he is the Chief Marketing Officer of HDFC Bank. Why he was in news? He was in news because he is the only Indian to feature in the Forbes list of world's most influential Chief Marketing Officer, and he was behind the various campaigns of HDFC Bank. Next question is, the South Pacific Territory of New Caledonia has rejected independence from which country? So this country is France. That means South Caledonia rejected independence from France. It is a special collectivity of France, and it is in Southwest Pacific Ocean. See, this is the geographical location of New Caledonia, and it is east of Australia. and it is a territory in South Pacific Ocean. Recently, it rejected independence from France. That means it will remain with France as per the recent referendum. Next question is, India has provided around 3,000 vials of remdesivir to which country? So this country is Myanmar. So Indian Army Chief General M.M. Narwane, that is Manoj Mukund Narwane, Foreign Secretary Harsh Vardhan Shringla handed over 3,000 vials of remdesivir to Myanmar. She is the State Councillor of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi. Now, recently Myanmar was also in news because of Sittwe port, and it is in Rakhine state of Myanmar. Next question is, the 2020 Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine has been awarded for the work on which virus? So this has been awarded for work in the field of hepatitis C virus, and it has been given to 3 personalities. These are Harvey J. Elter, Michael Houghton, and Charles M. Rice. So this was related to Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. Next question is, which company became the second Indian firm to attain market capitalization of 10 lakh crore? So this is TCS, that is Tata Consultancy Services, and it became the second Indian firm after Reliance to attain this achievement. Next question is, what is the theme of 66th Wildlife Week celebrated during the first week of October? So the theme was Roar, that is Roar and Revive, means exploring human-animal relationships. On the occasion of this, the Environment Minister also presented Prani Mitra Award. Now, for the wildlife protection, we have Wildlife Institute of India, and it is under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The headquarters is in Dehradun. Which city was the venue of meeting of foreign ministers of Quad countries? So this meeting held in Tokyo. Tokyo is in Japan. Now, what is this Quad? Quad is Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, and 4 countries are the part of this dialogue: India, Japan, Australia, USA. The center has released 20,000 crore rupees as compensation to the states related to which tax? So it is GST, that is Goods and Service Tax, and recently center released 20,000 crores as compensation cess. What is Param Siddhi AI, which was in news recently? So it is supercomputer, and CDAC is set to commission India's largest HPC AI supercomputer, and it is Param Siddhi AI. Which fintech company is to organize a dedicated app developers conference? So this organization is Paytm, as recently Paytm launched its new mini app store, and to attract indigenous, that means Indian app developers, it is going to organize a dedicated app developers conference. Which forest is said to be in a risk of changing from forest to savanna as per the recent study? So it is Amazon rainforest, and because of the extreme environmental conditions, it is on the verge of changing from forest to savanna. The rainfall in Amazon is very low, and up to 40% of the forest is at the risk of savanna-like conditions. Now, what is savanna? It is the area where trees are very less, and therefore even biodiversity is limited. Which technology company is to set up a Center of Excellence for Artificial Intelligence with GEM? What is GEM? It is Government E-Marketplace. So this is IBM. IBM is going to set up the Center of Excellence for Artificial Intelligence with Government E-Marketplace. Now, this GEM is similar to Amazon online shopping. So for government departments, if they have to purchase something, they can purchase through this GEM. This is their online shopping platform. Which technology company has renamed its business software package as Workspace? So this was done by Google, and it has recently announced Google Workspace, and this package include email and document editing. Previously it was known as G Suite. The parent company of Google is Alphabet. Which institution is to launch an e-learning hub for villagers under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan? So this is IIM Kozhikode, and it is set to launch an e-learning hub and library for villagers in Mavur, and this has been done under this UBA, that is Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Now, this Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is an initiative of MHRD, that is Ministry of Human Resource Development. Now it has been renamed as Ministry of Education. The unit of which technology company has launched National Qualifier Test for the IT students and professionals. So this has been announced by TCS, that is Tata Consultancy Services, and it has announced this National Qualifier Test. So this will be a common gateway test for several corporate firms for their fresher recruitment program. India is to hold a digital conference on innovation in the field of solar energy, along with which country? So India and Israel are going to hold this digital conference, and this is a conference about innovation in the field of solar energy. Now, Israel was also in news because of Operation Breathing Space, which state government has launched a Digital Seva Setu program. So this is an initiative by Gujarat government, and the objective is to provide services to the citizens at panchayat level so that they do not need to visit district or taluka headquarters for government related work. That means all the services will be provided at panchayat level itself under this initiative, that is Digital Seva Setu. The National Mission for Clean Ganga has launched a campaign related to which animal along with Wildlife Institute of India. So this is a campaign related to dolphin, and the campaign is My Ganga, My Dolphin. This has been started by WII, that is Wildlife Institute of India. The headquarters is in Dehradun. IFCO, that is Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative Limited, has partnered with which organization to promote new agricultural technology? So it has partnered with Prasar Bharati. IFCO has partnered with Prasar Bharati to promote new agricultural technology and innovations. And now, as per this agreement, DD Kisan will broadcast various innovative techniques which can be adopted in the field of agriculture. Dinesh Kumar Khara has been appointed as the chairperson of which public sector bank? So he has been appointed as the chairperson of SBI, and Khara will replace Rajneesh Kumar. Which state government launched the Kisan Rath mobile app to promote buyer-seller network? So this is related to Assam, and the Chief Minister of Assam, Sarbanand Sonowal, launched this initiative to facilitate the timely sale of agricultural products. And this app, that is Kisan Rath mobile app, has been designed and maintained by NIC, that is National Informatics Center. The 12th BRICS Summit, which is scheduled to be held in November, was originally supposed to be held in which city? So for this year, Russia is the president of BRICS and St. Petersburg was the host of this 12th Summit of BRICS. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. And the theme of this meeting is going to be BRICS Partnership for Global Stability, Shared Security and Innovative Growth. As per WTO, that is World Trade Organization, what is the growth of world merchandise trade in 2020? So it is expected to fall by 9.2% in 2020. And this is as per the revised trade forecast by WTO. WTO is World Trade Organization. Which institution has estimated that over 150 million people are likely to be in extreme poverty by 2021. So this is a projection by World Bank that 150 million people are likely to be in extreme poverty because of this coronavirus pandemic. Which financial institution has issued guidelines for product labeling in mutual funds? So these guidelines have been issued by SEBI, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India. The 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been awarded to the scientist for which field of chemistry? So the 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry was given to two scientists for the development of a method for genome editing, that is named as CRISPR-Cas9. So this is a genetic Caesar method. Like through Caesar we cut something. Similarly, with the help of this CRISPR-Cas9 method, we can cut the genome sequence. Now this 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been given to two. One is Emmanuel Charpentier and second one is Jennifer Doudna. The USA is to set up the Foreign Commercial service office in which Asian country? So this Asian country is Bangladesh. So to boost economic ties with Bangladesh, USA is going to set up this foreign commercial service office in Bangladesh in Dhaka. Which Indian company has partnered with Ericsson to deploy 5G radio and transport solutions? So this company is Airtel. Airtel was also in news because of AGR, that is Adjusted Gross Revenue. The Union Cabinet has approved a memorandum of understanding with which country for the exchange of knowledge and technology on cybersecurity? So this is Japan. Recently, Japan was also in news because of Quad meeting. So this was second Quad meeting and this held in Tokyo. Tokyo is the capital of Japan. What is the name of COVID-19 awareness campaign launched by Prime Minister ahead of festive seasons? So the name of this campaign is Jan Andolan for COVID-19 appropriate behavior. So this is a campaign to spread awareness that we should wear mask and we should maintain social distancing. Who has been appointed as next ambassador of India to Kingdom of Netherlands? So Mr. P.K. Rawat has been appointed as India's next ambassador to Netherlands. He is an IFS officer. Recently, IFS Day was celebrated on 9th of October. IFS is Indian Foreign Service. As per the report from FIS, which country has recorded the 41 million per day real-time financial transactions? So this country is India. Recently, a report was released in this context, and as per that report, our regular real-time financial transactions are more than 40 million per day. In which state India's first advanced manufacturing hub is to be established? So this will be set up in Tamil Nadu, and this will be set up in collaboration with WEF, that is World Economic Forum. So this AMHUB, that is Advanced Manufacturing Hub, will be set up in Tamil Nadu, and this is going to be first such hub, and for this World Economic Forum is going to provide the support. As per the recent statement from Reserve Bank of India, finance companies cannot be set up with foreign direct investment from which country? So this country is Mauritius. So recently RBI announced that finance companies cannot be set up with FDI from Mauritius or from any other area which do not follow the guidelines by FATF. What is FATF? It is Financial Action Task Force. Which Indian business person has entered the top 10 of Forbes India Rich List for the first time? So Cyrus Poonawalla is the new entry. This list has been topped by Mukesh Ambani. Reserve Bank of India has extended the interest subvention on MSME loans till which date? So it has been extended till 31st of March 2021. What is the meaning of interest subvention? That means a discount on interest rate. Which Indian state has inaugurated its largest greenfield oxygen plant commissioned by Inox Air Products? So this state is Uttar Pradesh, and this is the largest greenfield oxygen plant, and it has been commissioned by Inox Air Products, and this is in Modinagar in Ghaziabad. SARDPNE is implemented by which union ministry? So this is a project related to Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. What is the full form of SARDPNE? It stands for Special Accelerated Road Development Program. So it is a Special Accelerated Road Development Program in Northeast, and this is an initiative by Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Which development bank has approved to finance Delhi Meerut Rapid Rail and Mumbai Metro Rail Service? So this is BRICS Bank. It is also known as New Development Bank. Actually, New Development Bank is the formal name. Ramvilas Paswan entered a Guinness record for winning a parliamentary election with highest margin from which constituency? So this constituency is Hajipur. Recently, Mr. Paswan passed away, and he was the founder of Lok Janshakti Party, that is LJP. Gyan Circle Venture is a technology business incubator of which Indian institution? So recently, Mr. Ramesh Nishank virtually inaugurated this Gyan Circle Ventures, and it is a TBI, that is Technology Business Incubator of Indian Institute of Information Technology in Sri City, and this is in Andhra Pradesh. As per the recent announcement of RBI, which service is to be made available round the clock from December 2020. So this is RTGS. Now what is RTGS? It is real-time gross settlement, which is the biggest economy to join COVAX Global COVID-19 Vaccine Alliance as on 10th of October 2020. So this is China. Recently, China decided to join this COVAX. So far, USA and Russia have stayed out of this COVAX initiative. As per the RBI's announcement, what is the quantum of funds to be provided to the banks under on-tap TLTRO? So the amount is rupee 1 trillion. And recently, RBI announced that it is going to provide funding to the banks, and this total amount is going to be approximately 1 trillion under this TLTRO. The Prime Minister launched the distribution of property cards under which scheme? So this is a Swamithav scheme. Swamithav stands for Survey of Villages and Mapping with Improvised Technology in Village Areas scheme. Indian Navy has cancelled the contract with which company regarding naval offshore patrol vessels? So this company is Reliance Naval and Engineering. Why Indian Navy cancelled this contract? Because of delay in the delivery, this contract was cancelled. Who is the head of expert group formed by the Labour Ministry to assess the employment situation in the country? So this group will be headed by S.P. Mukherjee. Recently, Labour Ministry announced that Labour Bureau is going to evaluate the employment situation in the country. This Labour Bureau is under Labour Ministry. Which European country has shared the details of bank accounts with India as a part of AEOI Pact? What is AEOI? It is Automatic Exchange of Information. This means both countries will automatically exchange information with each other, and this information will be related to taxation and financial details. So recently, India received this information from Switzerland under this AEOI Pact. So this is second such set of information. First such set of information was received in 2019 in September. Central Mine Planning and Design Institute is a subsidiary of which PSU? So it is a subsidiary of Coal India. Why it was in news? Because recently this Central Mine Planning and Design Institute developed a website, and this website has been developed for those who are involved in the research and development in the coal sector. Which country has released a new version of its passport to differentiate from China? So this country is Taiwan, and recently it released a new version of its passport which contains the highlighted print of English word for Taiwan. The e-invoicing will be available to the taxpayers up to what limit of turnover from January 2021? So the limit is 100 crores, and recently it was notified that e-invoicing will be available to the taxpayers having turnover more than 100 crores a year. Which country has commenced anti-submarine drills in South China Sea? So this country is Japan. The capital of Japan is Tokyo. Recently, Tokyo was in news because of Quad meeting. Quad is Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, and the second meeting of Quad held in Tokyo in Japan. And 4 countries are the members of Quad: Japan, India, Australia and USA. India donated over 1.8 million N95 masks to Philadelphia city. The question is, it is located in which country? So it is a city in USA, and to be specific, it is a city in Pennsylvania state of USA, and these masks have been donated to tackle the COVID-19. Which special day related to biodiversity is celebrated on the second Saturday of May and October? So this is World Migratory Bird Day, and it is celebrated on the second Saturday of May and October. And this year it was celebrated on 10th of October. The theme was Birds Connect Our World. Which technology company has partnered with AICTE to train students in new age technologies. So this company is Microsoft. Microsoft has partnered with AICTE. Now what is AICTE? It is All India Council for Technical Education. Which state has become the first to have high-tech classrooms in its public schools? So this state is Kerala, and this is the first state in our country to have high-tech classrooms in its public schools. TAEF, which recently partnered with National Maritime Foundation, is a think tank based in which country? So it is associated to Taiwan, and TAEF stands for Taiwan Asia Exchange Foundation. What is the amount of interest-free festival advance granted by the union government to the employees to stimulate demand? So the scenario is that because of coronavirus, there is a slowdown in the economy. Now, to provide more money in people's hand, the idea is to give a boost to the demand, and therefore union government decided to provide 10,000 rupees advance to its employees, and this money will be interest-free festival advance. Which country's cabinet has approved the law to include death penalty as the highest punishment for rape cases? So this country is our neighbor Bangladesh. Rashtriya Kamdhenu Ayog has been constituted under which union ministry? So this is under Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Now the objective of this Rashtriya Kamdhenu Ayog is to promote animal husbandry through modern methods and to preserve and improve the breed of cattle. And on the occasion of this Diwali festival, this Rashtriya Kamdhenu Ayog has started a campaign, and the campaign is Kamdhenu Dipawali Abhiyan. What is the name of initiative launched by TriFed and IIT Kanpur and Chhattisgarh MFP Federation? So the name of this initiative is Tech for Tribals. So three major partners are TriFed, IIT Kanpur and Chhattisgarh MFP Federation. This is a Tech for Tribal initiative, and this has been launched. That means this Tech for Tribal initiative has been launched under Entrepreneurship Skill Development Initiative. Prime Minister released the biography of which personality titled De Vichava Karani? That means dedicate your life for Nobel cause. So this is the autobiography of Dr. Bala Saheb Vikhe Patil. He had served as a member of parliament for 7 times, and he was a well-known social reformer. The founders of which Indian company topped the IIFL Wealth Hurun India 40 and under self-made rich list of 2020. So there are multiple factors in this ranking. First, it is a ranking of self-made entrepreneurs whose wealth is minimum 1000 crore rupees, who are below 40 years of age and who are from India. So the founders of Zerodha has topped this IIFL indexing. Now the founders are Nitin Kamath and Nikhil Kamath. Which technology major has partnered with IIIT Hyderabad, Public Health Foundation of India and with Telangana government for an Artificial Intelligence Research Center? So Intel has partnered with Telangana government and IIIT Hyderabad for this AI Research Center, and this center will be set up in Telangana. Which company has launched the indigenous variety of calcium nitrate and boronated calcium nitrate? So this is important because this has been done by Gujarat State Fertilizers and Chemical India. Now why it is so important? Because these two chemicals are being manufactured for the first time in our country. So far we have imported these chemicals. Which state has proposed for a plantation drive in Uttar Pradesh to clear its backlog for compensatory afforestation? So this state is Uttarakhand, and it has decided to conduct a plantation drive in Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh and in some areas of Rajasthan. Recently, European Union has proposed to impose sanctions against officials of which country? Right answer is Russia. So recently, European Union has proposed sanctions on officials of Russia in the context of poisoning of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. It is important to note that he was given a nerve agent which led to his death, and the name of that nerve agent is Novichok. Who is the head of Parliamentary Standing Committee on Information Technology? So this committee is headed by Dr. Shashi Tharoor. Recently, this committee on information technology was in news because it decided to take up the issue of TRP manipulation. What is TRP? It is television rating points. As per the recent report titled Animal Discoveries 2019 and Planet Discoveries 2019, how many new species were discovered in that year? So, right answer is 544. And recently, ZSI, that is Zoological Survey of India, and BSI, that is Botanical Survey of India, released a report titled Animal Discoveries and Plant Discoveries 2019. Which state or union territory has exempted road tax on its battery operated vehicles? So this has been announced by New Delhi government. It is important to note that recently the government of Delhi also announced new electric vehicle policy. Apart from that, New Delhi government was also in news because of its new tree transplantation policy. Delhi was also in news because of first electric vehicle public charging plaza. So this first electric vehicle public charging plaza was recently started at Chelmsford Club in Delhi. Next generation treasury application that was seen in news recently is to be deployed by which organization? Right answer is Reserve Bank of India. So RBI decided to move to the NGTA for managing the foreign exchange and gold reserve of our country. What is NGTA? It is Next Generation Treasury Application. Sardar Japarov has been appointed as the new Prime Minister of which country? So he has been appointed as the new Prime Minister of Kyrgyzstan. It is important to note that recently the country's election commission declared the poll results as invalid. The capital of Kyrgyzstan is Bishkek and the currency of Kyrgyzstan is Kyrgyzstani Som. Tunnel, which was in news recently, is in which state of our country? So it is in Arunachal Pradesh. Recently, it was in news because Union Defence Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh laid the foundation stone of this Nechipu tunnel, and it is in Arunachal Pradesh. This tunnel is located on BCT Road. What is BCT Road? It is Balipura Chardur Tawang, and this is in Arunachal Pradesh. Khardungla Pass is situated in which state or union territory? So it is in Ladakh, and it is in Leh district of Ladakh, and it is a gateway to Shoyak and to Nubra Valley, and it is maintained by BRO. What is BRO? It is Border Road Organization. India's first dragonfly fossil was found in which state recently? So it was found in Jharkhand, and this is India's first dragonfly fossil, and this was found in Latehar district of Jharkhand. Recently, Jharkhand was in news because Sohrai Khowar of Jharkhand got GI tag. GI stands for Geographical Indication. Protect a Generation report has been released by PwC India and which agency? So it has been released by Save the Children India and PwC. And this report is based on a study that was conducted in 3 states of our country. These 3 states are Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh and West Bengal. How many Indian beaches have been given the status of blue flag? So total 8 beaches were given the status of blue flag. You can pause the screen to take a screenshot of these names. Just revise them before exam. Now this blue flag status is given by FEE, that is Foundation for Environment Education, and this is a Copenhagen based non-governmental organization which work in the field of environment, and it is known for its few active programs. One is Blue Flagged, another one is Eco Schools, another program is Young Reporters for Environment, and one program is LEAF, LEAF, that is Learning About Forest, and 5th program is Green Key International. Next question is, what is the issue price of 7th series of sovereign gold bond? Now first thing first, what is the meaning of this term sovereign gold bond? So these are the gold bonds which are issued by the Reserve Bank of India on the behalf of government. So these are government bonds which are issued by Reserve Bank of India, and these are gold bonds. So the issue price of 7th series of sovereign gold bond scheme has been fixed at 5051 per gram. Which bank has been designated by the Union government for opening of all FCRA accounts? So it is State Bank of India. FCRA stands for Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So recently, Home Ministry has directed all the non-governmental organizations to open a designated FCRA account at the New Delhi branch of State Bank of India. Which country is set to host the 7th meeting of Ministers of Law and Justice of SCO in 2020? So, Indian Law Minister Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad is the host of the 7th meeting of Ministers of Law and Justice of SCO. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The headquarters of SCO is in Beijing. Total 8 countries are the members of SCO, 4 are Central Asian countries, rest 4 are Russia and China, India and Pakistan. India and Pakistan became the full-fledged member of SCO after Astana Summit in 2017. Which financial institution has signed $270 million loan to strengthen the urban local bodies in Madhya Pradesh? So this is ADB, that is Asian Development Bank. So this money will be used to strengthen the urban local bodies in Madhya Pradesh. The government has selected which company to connect 5,000 village panchayats with satellite broadband under BharatNet project. So it is Uses Communication India, and this will be done under this BharatNet project. So 5,000 village panchayats will be connected with satellite broadband. Now this BharatNet project seeks to provide affordable high-speed broadband connectivity to the 2.5 lakhs village panchayats in our country. Objective is to provide affordable high-speed broadband connectivity, and the nodal ministry for this BharatNet project is Ministry of Communication, and this project is being funded by USOF. What is USOF? It is Universal Service Obligation Fund. Which organization has released 2020 State of Climate Services report? So this is WMO, that is World Meteorological Organization. It has released the 2020 State of Climate Services report. WMO is a specialized agency of United Nations, and the headquarters of WMO is in Geneva in Switzerland. Exporting Corruption is a report released by which organization? So it is a report by Transparency International. It is a non-governmental organization, and the headquarters is in Berlin. Berlin is in Germany. So this Transparency International released this report, and the title is Exporting Corruption, Assessing the Enforcement of OECD Anti-Bribery Convention. The Zojila Tunnel, which is in news, is in which state or union territory of India? So it is in Jammu and Kashmir, and it is going to provide the all-weather connectivity between Srinagar Valley and Leh. And this tunnel is being constructed on NH1, that is National Highway number 1. Which type of identity card issued by the government is set to be printed on PVC cards? So it is Aadhaar card. So Aadhaar cards will now be printed on PVC cards, similar to ATM cards. What is the title of World Economic Outlook 2020, which is released by IMF? So the title is Long and Difficult Ascent. IMF is International Monetary Fund, and it is Bretton Woods institution. So World Bank and IMF are Bretton Woods institutions. Recently, the travel business group Cox and Kings has been classified as willful defaulter by which bank? So what is the meaning of this term? Willful defaulters. That means you took the loan. Now you are able to repay that loan to the bank, but you are not willing to repay. That means you have capability to repay, but deliberately you are not repaying that money which you have taken as loan from the bank. So such instances are willful defaulters. So recently this travel business group Cox and Kings has been classified as the willful defaulter by Yes Bank. Which power producer of India has tied up with cement manufacturers across the country for supply of ash? So this is NTPC. NTPC has tied up with cement manufacturers to supply fly ash. Where is the regional raw drug repository of Ministry of Ayush? So it is in Chennai and it is in Tamil Nadu. It is regional raw drug repository and it is related to Ministry of Ayush. The central government has allowed how many states to borrow 68,825 crores from the market? So 20 states were allowed to borrow from the market through open market borrowing. Atal Innovation Mission has partnered with which IT firm to promote innovation in Atal schools? So this is CGI India. Now Atal Innovation Mission is an initiative of Niti Aayog. A national report on Angikar campaign was released recently. Now this campaign is associated to which ministry? So this is a campaign of MOHUA, that is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and this campaign was launched in 2019, and under this campaign the beneficiaries of PMAY, that is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, are trained and they are given access to other welfare schemes. Nagarnar steel plant is in which state of India? So this steel plant is in Chhattisgarh. Recently CCEA, that is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, gave in principle approval for the demerger of this Nagarnar steel plant from NMDC. What is NMDC? It is National Minerals Development Corporation. Africa's tallest mountain, the Mount Kilimanjaro, is in which country? So this is related to Tanzania. The capital of Tanzania is Dodoma. Now Tanzania is East African country. Which state is set to hold a special assembly session to bring legislation to counter new farm laws? So recently government passed 3 new farmers related legislation, and that is why, that means to counter those new laws, the Punjab Assembly decided to have a special session to counter these new farm laws. A drug named Inmazeb has been approved as the first drug for the treatment of which disease? So it is a drug for the treatment of Ebola. Name of the drug is Inmazeb. The CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board, has deployed 50 teams to inspect the pollution causing activities in which state or union territory? So this is related to Delhi. What is CPCB? It is Central Pollution Control Board. Who had chaired the interministerial meeting with FSSAI to achieve Vision 2050 of Eat Right India movement? So this was chaired by Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. Which Indian state has launched Haath Dhona Roke Corona campaign? So this is a campaign to promote the hand wash practice, and this is launched by Uttar Pradesh government. The assets under management of NPS, that is National Payment System, and APY, that is Atal Pension Yojana, has crossed which mark recently? So it has crossed the mark of 5 lakh crore. The PFRDA, that is Regulator of Pension Funds, recently stated that asset under management of NPS and APY have crossed mark of 5 lakh crore. Now PFRDA stands for Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. What is India's contribution to UNRWA for Palestinian refugees? So India's contribution is $1 million. What is UNRWA? It is United Nations Relief and Work Agency. So this agency intends to provide relief programs and services like health, education and other social services for Palestinian refugees. As per the World Economic Outlook 2020, which is released by IMF, what would be the per capita GDP of India in 2020? So recently, because of this report by IMF, there was too much controversy about India's per capita GDP and Bangladesh per capita GDP. So this World Economic Outlook report is released by IMF. And as per this report, the Bangladesh per capita GDP is $1,888. This is about 2020 only, not the overall scenario. The waiver of compound interest for loans is applicable to how many category of loans? So right answer is 8. Artificial intelligence and machine learning has been introduced recently in which portal of MSME Ministry? So this has been introduced in the Champions portal. This portal is for MSME sector, and now artificial intelligence and machine learning has been introduced in this portal. The central government is to borrow 1.10 lakh crore on the behalf of states to meet which shortfall? So it is related to GST compensation. So central government is going to borrow this money, and then central government will provide this money to the states. Actually, when GST was implemented, some states objected that it may lead to their loss of revenue. So the central government promised that if the revenue growth is going to be less than 14% per year, then central government will pay GST compensation in such cases. Which institution has called for emergency financing of $25 billion to help the poorest countries to tackle the COVID-19. So this was done by World Bank. Presently, the head of World Bank is David Malpass. The first phase of International Institute of Advanced Virology was recently inaugurated in which state of India? So it was inaugurated in Kerala. And to be specific, it was inaugurated in Thonakkal in Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. Where is the headquarters of BARC? That is Broadcast Audience Research Council. So the headquarters is in Mumbai. Mumbai is in Maharashtra. Now, recently this BARC was in news because of TRP issue. TRP stands for television rating point. So because of manipulation of TRP, BARC decided to stop TRP monitoring 3 months for new channels. The Parliament of Israel has approved peace deal with which country? So this country is UAE. In this context, there is one important term, and it is Abraham Accord. So recently, USA played a key role in the deal of Israel with UAE and with Bahrain. Thalassemia Bal Seva Yojana is a part of the hematopoietic stem cell transplantation project. Now this project is funded by which PSU? So it is funded by Coal India. So this is for those unprivileged patients of thalassemia, and this is funded through the CSR of Coal India. What is CSR? It is Corporate Social Responsibility. What is the name of scheme of Culture Ministry which provides grants to the cultural program with large audience? So the name of the program is Kala Sanskriti Vikas Yojana. So it is a scheme by Culture Ministry. Idea is to provide financial support to the cultural programs. Recently, this Culture Ministry issued guidelines for holding events in online mode, and with the help of these new guidelines, the financial assistance will be provided to such artists so that they can tackle this difficult situation created because of COVID-19. So in simplest term, it is a scheme, that is Kala Sanskriti Vikas Yojana is a scheme of Culture Ministry to support the art and culture in this difficult time, ensure the holistic promotion of art and culture in our country. What is EVIN? So it is Electronic Vaccine Intelligence Network. So it is related to vaccination. Now this is a network which is used for immunization program. So it is a kind of digital database for the monitoring of vaccines. So it ensures real-time tracking of vaccines, and it provides information about their procurement, their storage, their delivery and distribution. So it is like a tracking system for our vaccines. The Sushma Swaraj lectures, which is introduced by the External Affairs Ministry, is designed for which target section? So it is a series of lectures which was started for the foreign diplomats posted in India, and it is an initiative started by MEA, that is Ministry of External Affairs, and it was started in the name of former External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. And the inaugural session of these lectures was delivered by Harshvardhan Sringla. He is our Foreign Secretary. The Reserve Bank of India is going to conduct first ever OMO, that is Open Market Operations, for the state development loans. For what amount? So this amount is 10,000 crores. Now, few important terms are OMO. What is OMO? It is Open Market Operation. That means buying and selling of government securities. And for the first time, RBI is going to conduct the OMO for the purchase of SDL, What is SDL? It is State Development Loans. The amount is going to be 10,000 crores. The India International Food and Agri Week has been launched by which ministry? So this is an initiative of Ministry of Food Processing. Present minister is Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar. What is the name of mobile application launched by Leather Sector Skill Council? So the name of this application is Scale India. It has been launched by Leather Sector Skill Council. And this application was launched by Mahendranath Pandey. He is the Union Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Bepi Colombo, which was in news recently, is a spacecraft launched to explore which planet or celestial body. So this was launched for Mercury, and it is a joint mission. That means this Bepi Colombo is a joint mission of JAXA, that is Space Agency of Japan, and ESA. ESA is European Space Agency, and JAXA is Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. So the objective is to explore Mercury. Who represented India in the 102nd meeting of World Bank Development Committee plenary? So our Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman represented India in this 102nd meeting of World Bank Development Committee. Recently, she was also in news because of GST Council. So Finance Minister is the ex-officio chairperson of this GST Council. Enfuser and Silam, which were in news recently, are associated to which field? So these are associated to environment. Recently, IMD, that is India Meteorological Department, has operationalized this Enfuser. What is the full form of this Enfuser? Enfuser stands for Environmental Information Fusion Services. START, that is Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, which was in news recently, is associated to which countries? So it is associated to US and Russia. This new START treaty was signed in 2010, and the objective is to restrict or to limit the number of strategic nuclear equipments that Russia and USA can deploy. What is the rank of India in the Global Hunger Index 2020 report? So Indian rank is 94th, and the report is jointly published by Concern Worldwide and World Hunger Life. As per the recent report, India is on 94th position out of 107 countries. So our overall score was 27.2, and this shows that there is a serious level of hunger in our country. What is the estimated food grain production during the 2020-21 Kharif season? So the estimated production is 144.52 million ton. Now it is important to note that as per the official records of last year, the Kharif production was of 143.38 MT, that is million ton. By which year does the government aim to make India trans fat free? So the objective is 2022, and this is a year ahead by the target which has been set by WHO, that is World Health Organization. As per the recent publication in Lancet journal, what is the life expectancy of India in 2019? So as per this recent study, life expectancy is 70.8 years. Now what is the meaning of this term life expectancy? It means the number of years a person can expect to live. So one important point is that our life expectancy has increased by more than 10 years. Actually in 1990, the life expectancy of our country was 59.6, and now in 2019 it is 70.8. What is the name of standard term life insurance product mandated by IRDAI? So it is Saral Jeevan Bima, and IRDAI, that is the regulator for insurance sector, has recently issued guidelines for the standard individual term life insurance product, and this product is to be made available by all the insurance companies. That means all the insurance companies will launch this product and it will be available for all. The rocket named New Shepard is associated to which space agency? So it is related to Blue Origin, and this Blue Origin is a company of Jeff Bezos, and he is the CEO of Amazon, and this company was in news because of event of space tourism. Which bank has been authorized to issue electoral bonds in our country? So it is State Bank of India. Recently, SBI was also in news because of FCRA, that is now NGOs will have to open their account in SBI to receive the foreign funding. As per FCRA norms, this is mandatory. India has recently organized its first joint commission with which country? So this country is Chile, and it is South American country. Which state or union territory has launched Mission Shakti campaign for the safety of women? So this is associated to Uttar Pradesh, and the government has announced this campaign for the women empowerment and women safety. Which country is to resume its oil and gas exploration in disputed South China Sea after a 6-year moratorium? Moratorium means temporary suspension. So this country is Philippines, and recently Philippines announced that it is going to resume the oil and gas exploration in South China Sea, and therefore it is going to end its moratorium on resource exploration in the South China Sea. Kalro Capital and Murari Lal Jalan are set to acquire which Indian company? Name of this company is Jet Airways, and recently the lenders of Jet Airways have approved the resolution plan, and this resolution plan is submitted by a consortium, and that consortium is headed by, or that consortium is led by Kalro Capital and Murari Lal Jalan. What is the rank of India in the Lowy Institute's Asia Power Index for 2020? So India's rank is 4th. Name of the index is Asia Power Index. It has been released by Lowy Institute, and it is a Sydney-based institute. Sydney is in Australia, and as per this ranking, India is on 4th position, while USA is on top position, China is on 2nd position, and Japan is on 3rd position. What is the name of a scheme launched by Agriculture Ministry to assist cooperatives in creation of healthcare infrastructure? So the name of this initiative is Ayushman SEHGAL. SEHGAL stands for cooperatives, and recently this initiative was launched, and it has been formulated by NCDC. So why this initiative was launched? It was launched to assist the cooperative societies in creation of healthcare infrastructure in our country. So objective is to assist cooperatives so that they can create healthcare infrastructure, and this will be done by providing support through this Ayushman SEHGAL scheme. The United Nations ban on purchase of arms expired for which country? So this ban is expired for Iran. The capital of Iran is Tehran. Recently, it was in news because this ban has expired, even though there were objections from the USA. Which company has launched the mask verification feature in India? So this company is Uber, and this is a cab company. This feature was recently launched in USA and Canada, and now even in India this feature has been announced. What percentage of the capital expenditure, that is CapEx, target of CPSE should be met before December 2020? So CPSE stands for Central Public Sector Enterprises. Now let me explain you the background. See, because of coronavirus there is economic slowdown. Now to revive the growth, government is trying to increase the expenditure, and for that purpose recently there was a meeting, and it was related to the performance of these central public sector enterprises. This meeting was under Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and during that meeting she mentioned that 75% of the capital expenditure target of CPSE should be met by them by the end of 3rd quarter of 2020. Russia has signed a pact with which Indian company for marketing Sputnik vaccine? So for this purpose, Russia has signed a pact with Mankind Pharma, and RDIF, that is Russian Direct Investment Fund, has entered into a pact with this Mankind Pharma. So this is going to help in marketing and distribution of this vaccine in India. In addition to India, USA and Japan, which country will participate in this year's Malabar naval exercise? So this country is Australia. Malabar is a naval exercise, and since 1992, USA and India are the participants in this Malabar exercise, and from 2015, Japan became the new participant, and this year Australia is also going to participate in this Malabar naval exercise. Which company has won the bid for the largest segment of Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project? So this company is Larsen & Toubro, and this has won the bid for the largest segment of this Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project. Asafoetida, that is hing, has been cultivated in India for the first time in which state? So, for the first time, hing has been cultivated in India in the Lahore Valley of Himachal Pradesh, and this has been done with the help of IHBT of CSIR. What is IHBT? It is Institute of Himalayan Bioresource Technology, and it is an institute related to CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Which company has been awarded the contract by NASA for deploying 4G network on Moon? So this company is Nokia. NASA is the space agency of USA. NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And for the 4G network on Moon, it has awarded the contract to Nokia. The Kati Bihu festival is celebrated in which state of India? So, it is a well-known festival of Assam, and it is agricultural festival, and it is celebrated in the month of October. The FIST, that is Fund for Improvement of Science and Technology Infrastructure, is implemented by which department? So, it is related to DST, that is Department of Science and Technology. And recently, it was in news because DST has restructured this fund in universities and higher educational institutions. So now the restructured fund will be launched as FIST 2.0. So after restructuring, it will be aligned with the requirement of startups. So this is an initiative of Department of Science and Technology. It is a fund for the improvement of science and technology infrastructure in our country. The embassy of which country in India will have a separate water attaché? So Israel will have a special water attaché in our country. That means Israel embassy in India would have this separate water attaché. And why this is being done? This is being done so that Israel can share best practices and can help India in better water management. Which state in India has recorded the highest number of domestic tourists in 2019? So this state is Uttar Pradesh. If the question is about domestic tourists, that means highest number of domestic tourists, then it is Uttar Pradesh. If the question is about highest number of foreign tourists, then it is Tamil Nadu. So recently, this Indian tourist statistics report was released by Ministry of Tourism. And as per this report, Uttar Pradesh attracted highest number of domestic tourists. On the other hand, Tamil Nadu attracted highest number of foreign tourists. What is SANT, which was in news recently? So, it is anti-tank missile, and SANT stands for Standoff Anti-Tank Missile. Recently, it was in news because it was successfully test-fired, and it has been developed by DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization. What is the name of forum that would be launched ahead of SCO Trade Ministers meeting? So, the name of this forum is SCO Startup Forum. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The headquarters of SCO is in Beijing in China, and this SCO Startup Forum would be launched on 27th of October, and this forum will create a platform for multilateral cooperation among the SCO members for startup ecosystem. India has signed an agreement with which organization for $177 million loan to upgrade road infrastructure in Maharashtra. So this organization is Asian Development Bank. So for improvement of road infrastructure, Asian Development Bank is going to provide the financial support in Maharashtra. NGT, that is National Green Tribunal, directed the Environment Ministry to constitute expert committee for which project? So this project is Kaleshwaram Lift Irrigation Project, and recently NGT said that the environmental clearances which were given for this project are in violation of law. This is a lift irrigation project in Telangana. Which country is set to start human challenge trials to fast track the COVID-19 vaccine search? So this is going to be done by UK. So around 90 volunteers will be recruited to be exposed in a controlled setting. So this is going to be a part of this human challenge trials. As per Solvent Extractors Association, the import of which product has decreased by 12% during this year in India. So the import of edible oil decreased by 12% this year. This is based on a statement by Solvent Extractors Association. Which country has introduced deer-friendly bags to stop animals like Nara deer from eating plastic? So this decision has been taken by Japan. So a couple of terms are important. First, what is Nara deer means? It is associated to which country? So it is associated to Japan, and recently Japan started these deer-friendly bags so that these animals do not eat the plastic bags. United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, that is UNHCHR, asked which country to review FCRA, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So this is our country. We recently amended this FCRA. Now UNHCHR appealed India to review this act. Now what were the major changes in this FCRA? First was Aadhaar, that Aadhaar is now mandatory. Second one was that you cannot transfer the foreign funding to someone else, even if that entity is registered under FCRA. And third thing is that there is a new limit on administrative expenses. Previously, this limit was 50%. Now it has been reduced to 20%. PM 2020 is associated with which organization? So it is associated to DRDO. DRDO stands for Defense Research and Development Organization, and it is under MOD, that is Ministry of Defense. Recently, Defense Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh released a new version of PM, and this is 2020. What is the name of online portal recently launched to provide information about the stage of trials of the drug of CSIR? So the name of this portal is Cured, and recently Dr. Harshvardhan launched this portal as he is the Union Minister of Science and Technology. Now this portal will provide information about the stages of trials of the drugs which are under CSIR, that means in which CSIR is involved. Which Indian company has partnered with Qualcomm to develop a 5G RAN product? So this RAN stands for Radio Access Network, and this company is Jio. So Jio is going to partner with Qualcomm for the indigenous development of 5G Radio Access Network product, and for this purpose Reliance Jio Infocom will collaborate with Qualcomm. The evidence of 172,000-year-old river has been found in which state? So it has been found in Rajasthan, and a recent study published in the Quaternary Science Reviews found the evidences of a lost river, and the river was through the central Thar Desert in Rajasthan. Which state is the top performer in Anemia Mukt Bharat Index? So it is Haryana. Now first thing first, what is anemia? So anemia is a condition where number of RBC, that is red blood cell, or their oxygen carrying capacity is insufficient. That means if it is low, then this condition is a condition of anemia. That means either your RBC count is low or their oxygen carrying capacity is low. Now this index was launched recently, and Haryana topped it with a score of 46.7. Nazca Lions, which was in news recently, is in which country? So it is in Peru, and it is a well-known UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now recently it was in news because of a new figurative geoglyph, and it is similar to a shape of cat as you can see in this picture, and that is why it was in news. Which organization in association with World Bank has released a report, Global Estimate of Children in Monetary Poverty and Update? So UNICEF in association with World Bank Group has launched this Global Estimate of Children in monetary poverty. And as per this report, 1/6 of the total children of the world were living in extreme poverty before COVID-19. Now you can imagine what will be the impact of this disease on such vulnerable section of society. Which country has recently banned China's Huawei and ZTE in its 5G network? So this country is Sweden, and recently Sweden decided to ban these Chinese companies in its 5G network on security grounds. Recently, China was in news because of COVAX, as China became the biggest economy to join this COVAX alliance for COVID-19 vaccine. Which country recorded highest air pollution exposure globally in 2019 as per the State of Global Air 2020 report? So, as per this report, India recorded highest air pollution exposure globally. Now, the name of report is State of Global Air, and this report has been released by HEI, that is Health Effects Institute, and it is a USA based institute. In association with HEI, GBD was also the major participant for this report. What is GBD? It is Global Burden of Disease. So these two institutions prepared this State of Global Air 2020, and as per this index, India recorded highest annual average of PM 2.5 exposure in the world last year. PM stands for particulate matter. USA is to sell advanced air-to-ground missiles to which country? So this country is Taiwan. Now, in this context, please read the difference between ROC and PRC. One more thing, since USA is providing security equipments to Taiwan, so we need to know two more terms. One is THAAD and another one is Iron Dome. So Iron Dome is a missile defense system by Israel, and THAAD is a missile defense system by USA. This THAAD was in news because it is installed in South Korea as well. Now what is the full form of THAAD? It is Terminal High Altitude Area Defense. So this is American Missile Defense System. Which phase of National Supercomputing Mission is to commence from January 2021? So the third phase is going to start for this National Supercomputing Mission. And as per the notification, the mission envisages to take computing speed to around 45 petaflops. That means in this third stage of this National Supercomputing Mission, we are going to develop the supercomputers with speed around 45 petaflops. Which Union Ministry has launched eDharti Geo Portal? So this has been launched by MOHUA, that is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Present Minister is Hardeep Singh Puri. Now this portal, that is eDharti portal, will integrate the legacy drawings such as maps and lease plans into information system. That means the previous maps or lease plans will be now integrated into this information system, and this can be accessed from anywhere. That means we are trying to digitize the records. As per the recent notification from RBI, banks can deploy money drawn from 1 trillion on-tap TLTRO in how many sectors? So there are few technical terms in this question. First thing first, what is TLTRO? So what is repo? Repo is the rate at which banks get short-term money from RBI. So RBI provide money to these banks, and this money is provided at repo rate. This is for short-term. This is repo. The Future of Jobs Report 2020 has been released by which organization? So it has been released by World Economic Forum. Name of report is Future of Jobs. Now this World Economic Forum is a non-governmental organization. The headquarters is in Geneva in Switzerland, and it published multiple reports such as Global Competitiveness Report, Global Gender Gap Report, Global Risk Report, and Global Travel and Tourism Report. Life in Miniature project is a collaboration between National Museum, Delhi, and which company? So this is a collaboration between National Museum Delhi and Google. So to be specific, this is a collaboration between National Museum of Delhi and Google Arts and Culture. Now what is the objective? Objective is that now the miniature paintings from this National Museum can be seen through the Google Arts and Culture application. So with the help of this integration, now we can see the miniature paintings of National Museum in the Google Arts and Culture application. right of first refusal is associated with which field? So recently it was in news because of shipping sector, as shipping ministry revised the right of first refusal conditions to boost shipbuilding activities in our country. See, whenever we need to charter a ship, now the priority will be given to those ships which are built in our country, that means which are built in India and flagged in India and owned by Indians. Divya Sharma, Subhangi Swaroop and Shivangi are associated with which field? So these ladies are associated to defense, and to be specific, these are associated with Indian Navy, as recently Indian Navy has operationally deployed its first batch of women pilots on Dornier maritime recce aircraft. And these three, that means Divya Sharma, Subhangi Swaroop and Shivangi, recently graduated as fully operational maritime reconnaissance pilots. What is the name of third generation anti-tank guided missile which was recently tested in Pokhran? So the name of this missile is Nag. Nag is anti-tank guided missile. Recently it was tested in Pokhran. Pokhran is in Rajasthan. What is the base year of Consumer Price Index for industrial workers as per the recent announcement by Labour Ministry? So now the base year is 2016. Previously it was 2001. So recently this base year was changed, and that is why it was in news. Which state is to observe COVID-19 no tolerance fortnight to fight COVID-19? So this is an initiative by Mizoram government. Recently Mizoram government was also in news as it granted industry status to sports. So this will help in getting more financial support for the sports infrastructure. Researchers have discovered tubercle glands in which part of human body? So these glands were found in throat, and this is on the basis of researchers from Netherlands Cancer Institute. The Union Cabinet has adopted the Panchayati Raj Act in which state or union territory? So this is Jammu and Kashmir, and recently Union Cabinet approved the adoption of Jammu and Kashmir Panchayati Raj Act. So Panchayati Raj is the third tier of government. Microsoft has partnered with which space agency recently for the cloud computing? So Microsoft has partnered with SpaceX, and Microsoft is going to provide cloud computing services to SpaceX. SpaceX is a company headed by Elon Musk. Golconda Fort is located in which Indian city? So this fort is located in Hyderabad. Recently this fort was in news because as per ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India, because of severe rainfall, this Golconda Fort is damaged, and this fort is in Hyderabad. Which regulatory body has recently introduced framework for regulatory sandbox? So this has been released by IFSCA, that is International Financial Services Centers Authority. Who is the head of IRDAI working group that has proposed surety bonds? So this working group was headed by G. Srinivasan, and this was a working group related to IRDAI. IRDAI is Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. So it is the insurance regulator. The cabinet has approved MOU between which organization and its counterpart in Malaysia and Papua New Guinea? So this organization is ICAI, that is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So why this MOU, that is Memorandum of Understanding, has been signed? It has been signed for the capacity building in the field of finance and in the field of audit. The European Union has fixed a target for net zero carbon emission by which year? So during a recent meeting of environment ministers of European Union in Luxembourg, the European Union decided that it will be net zero carbon emitter by 2050, and this deal is legally binding on all the members of European Union. Government e-marketplace portal has been recently integrated with which portal? So it has been recently integrated with Central Public Procurement Portal. This way, the entire process of public procurement of goods and services is on a single platform. Which public sector company has been granted permission to use drones for inspection activities? So this is NTPC, that is National Thermal Power Corporation. So recently it was granted permission so that it can use drones for inspection. Now, which is the nodal authority to grant permission? It is DGCA, that is Directorate General of Civil Aviation, and it is under Ministry of Civil Aviation. The Government of India has imposed stock holding limits on which agricultural commodity recently. What is the meaning of this term? Stock holding limits. That means you cannot hold this item beyond this stock limit. So recently this stock limit was imposed on onion. Why it was done? It was done to improve the domestic availability so that the price of onions can be kept in limits. Who has recently mediated to restore relationship between Sudan and Israel? So US President played a key role to restore ties between Sudan and Israel. Now, USA has removed Sudan from the list of official sponsors of terrorism. Price Monitoring and Ratios Unit has been recently set up in which Indian state or union territory? So, it has been set up in Goa, and this Price Monitoring and Ratios Unit is under NPPA. What is NPPA? It is National Pharmaceuticals Pricing Authority. The government has approved guidelines for interest waiver on the loan up to what amount? So, it is up to 2 crore. See, because of the coronavirus, Reserve Bank of India provided moratorium on the loans. And in that case, that means in this context, the Supreme Court directed the central government to provide interest waiver for this moratorium duration. And keeping that in mind, this decision has been taken. As per a recent study, the habitat of which species has been estimated to decline by 2050 due to climate change. So, it is Himalayan brown bear. So, the study was done by ZSI, that is Zoological Survey of India. And as per that study, it was found that there is a decline in the suitable habitat for Himalayan brown bear due to climate change. Taram Suposhit Maharashtra, a scheme which was in use recently, is associated to which field? So, it is related to nutrition. It is an initiative of Maharashtra. The objective is to fulfill the nutritional requirements of lactating mothers and children. It is important to note that every year September month is celebrated as Poshan Ma, that means Nutrition Month, and Maharashtra stood first in the Poshan Ma this year. The government has approved which armed force to set up 47 additional border outposts along the border. So, ITBP has been given this permission. ITBP is Indo-Tibetan Border Police. It is CAPF, that is Central Armed Police Force. Mars Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution, that is MAVEN, is the Mars Orbiter mission of which country? So, it is the mission of USA. Space Agency of USA is NASA. So, this MAVEN was launched to investigate the upper atmosphere and ionosphere of Mars. Bumla, where the Joginder War Memorial has been inaugurated, is located in which state? So, it is in Arunachal Pradesh. And recently it was in news because Joginder War Memorial was inaugurated at Bumla in Arunachal Pradesh. Which organization released a report titled The World's Women 2020 Trends and Statistics? So, it has been released by United Nations. Recently, UN was in news because of its 75 years. So, recently, 75th anniversary was celebrated. And on this occasion, Department of Post released postage stamps. When is the UN treaty to ban nuclear weapons expected to come in force? So, answer is January 2021. This United Nations Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons was opened for signature in 2017. And the condition was that once 50 countries will ratify it or accede to it, it will enter into force. Which organization constructed the alternate alignment Gangtok-Nathula road which was in use? So, this has been constructed by BRO, that is Border Roads Organization, and recently it was inaugurated by our Defense Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh. So, BRO has constructed alternate route of NH310. This NH310 connect Gangtok to Nathula. Indian origin Vivel Ramkalawan has been elected as the new president of which country? So, he has been elected as the new president of Seychelles. He is of Indian origin. The typhoon Molave has hit which coastal country recently? So this country is Philippines, and it was recently in news because of this typhoon. This typhoon was blowing towards South China Sea. IIT Kharagpur, in association with which technology major, has developed an Industry 4.0 solution for remotely controlled factory operations. So for this purpose, it has collaborated with TCS, that is Tata Consultancy Services. So both IIT Kharagpur and TCS have collaborated to develop an industry solution for remotely controlled factory operations. Which country has recently adopted the no mask, no service policy? So this has been done by our neighbor Bangladesh. So in order to contain the spread of COVID-19, this policy has been announced by Bangladesh. Capital of Bangladesh is Dhaka. Currency is Taka. The Supreme Court has suspended one-man committee under which personality, which was formed to oversee the steps to tackle the stubble burning. So, in order to tackle the stubble burning in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, Supreme Court had constituted a committee. This committee was under Justice Madan B. Lokur. Which company has launched a new cloud communication platform for business? So, it has been launched by Airtel, and the name of this cloud computing platform is Airtel IQ. Recently, Airtel was also in news as it has extended its contract with Ericsson for the deployment of 5G ready radio and transport solutions. So that means for 5G technology, Airtel and Ericsson are going to collaborate. The Indus Sachar zone, which was in news, is found in which Indian state or union territory? So, as per the recent study by WIHG, that is Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology, the Indus Sachar zone is in Ladakh region and it has been found to be tectonically active. Now, this Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology is in Dehradun. Which country has issued warning to its citizens about mysterious cloud of yellow dust? So this country is North Korea. Now, North Korea have requested its citizens to avoid contact with this mysterious cloud of yellow dust. As per the authorities, the yellow dust which is blowing from China could bring coronavirus along with it. Which airport is the first to launch e-boarding facility for international passengers? So, this is Hyderabad International Airport, that is Rajiv Gandhi International Airport. Now, it was in news because it has introduced contactless e-boarding facility for international flyers, and therefore it became the first airport in our country to introduce such contactless e-boarding facility for the passengers who are flying out of country. Which institution has launched RuPay Festive Carnival to encourage contactless cashless payment? So this has been announced by NPCI. What is NPCI? It is National Payments Corporation of India. Recently, it has launched a campaign named RuPay Festive Carnival. Which institution has developed a low-cost technology to produce anti-aging compounds? So this has been done by IIT Guwahati, and IIT Guwahati have developed a technology to produce anti-aging compounds. Guwahati is in Assam. Recently, Assam was in news because of India's first multimodal logistic park. So this logistic park is going to be in Jogighopa in Assam. SEHGAL Meditech, a startup of SCT-IMST, has become the first startup to develop a device to screen which disease. So it has developed a device which can screen the oral cancer. This SEHGAL Meditech is a startup and it is a TBI, that is Technology Business Incubator of SCT-IMST. What is SCT-IMST? It is Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute for Medical Science and Technology. Shipping Ministry inaugurated direct port entry facility at which major port? So recently this facility of direct port entry has been inaugurated at V.O. Chidambarnar port, and this port is in Tamil Nadu. How many Indian states will have vulture conservation and breeding center as per the action plan for vulture conservation 2022-2025? So right answer is 5. So according to the action plan for vulture conservation, 5 such centers will be set up. Right answer is 5. So according to the action plan for vulture conservation, 5 states will have such centers, and these 5 states are Uttar Pradesh, Tripura, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So these 5 states will have these vulture conservation and breeding centers. Which automobile manufacturer has developed a smartphone based technology named HAMS? So this has been developed by Maruti Suzuki. What is the full form of HAMS? It is Harnessing Automobile for Safety. So Maruti Suzuki have developed a smartphone based technology, that is HAMS, and this has been done in association with Microsoft. A seaplane from which country has arrived in Ahmedabad recently, which would be operated by SpiceJet? So it is from Maldives. Recently, a seaplane from Maldives arrived in Ahmedabad in Gujarat, and this is going to be used to connect the Sabarmati riverfront in Ahmedabad to the Statue of Unity in Kevadia in Narmada district of Gujarat, and this seaplane is going to be operated by SpiceJet. Which Indian state has recently banned bringing alcohol from other states? So recently Andhra Pradesh decided to ban the alcohol from other states. The idea is to discourage people from consumption of alcohol, and focus is on improving the life of people. Which space agency has confirmed the presence of water on the surface of Moon? So this has been recently confirmed by NASA, that is National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So it is the space agency of USA, and recently SOFIA of NASA has confirmed the presence of water on the surface of Moon. Which body is set to organize IACE, that is India Australia Circular Economy Hackathon? So this will be organized by Atal Innovation Mission. Now this Atal Innovation Mission, that is AIM, is part of Niti Aayog. That means it is an initiative of Niti Aayog. So India Australia Circular Economy Hackathon will be organized by Atal Innovation Mission. Harley Davidson has inked a distribution agreement with which two-wheeler company of India? So this company is Hero MotoCorp, and Harley Davidson has inked a distribution agreement with India's Hero MotoCorp. Now what is the purpose of this agreement? See, now Hero MotoCorp will sell and will provide the services for Harley Davidson motorcycles in India. Since Hero MotoCorp have already existing dealership network, therefore it will provide benefit to the Harley Davidson as well. Which organization has launched the facility to file nil GST statement through SMS? So this is GSTN, that is Goods and Service Tax Network. So GSTN has launched this facility where the taxpayers can file nil GST through SMS without using the GST portal. Recently, Indian and Canadian researchers have found evidence of dairy production in which civilization? So recently the evidence of dairy production were found in Indus Valley Civilization, that is IVC. And this is the earliest known evidence of dairy production. And this is on the basis of a site of Kotada Bhadli. So this site is in Gujarat, and on the basis of research on this site, Indian and Canadian researchers found that there are evidences of dairy production in Indus Valley Civilization. The Union Education Minister inaugurated the DST-IIEST solar PV hub in which state? So it is in West Bengal. Union Education Minister is Ramesh Nishank, and he virtually inaugurated this solar PV hub at IIEST, and this is in Sahibpur, and it is in West Bengal. India Genomes is released by the laboratories of which institution? So CSIR constituent laboratories, that means CSIR associated laboratories of IGIB and CCMB carried out studies regarding Indian genomics. And as per this study, 32.23% of the global variants were unique and they were found only in the samples which were taken from India. NISA satellite that was seen in news recently is to be launched by India along with which country? So it is USA. NISAR stands for NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar. So this NISA satellite is a collaboration between India and USA. Which Indian organization has won the 2020 United Nations Global Climate Action Awards? So GHE, that is Global Himalayan Expedition, has been named as the one of the winners of 2020 United Nations Global Climate Action Award. Parampara Series 2020 National Festival of Music and Dance that was recently inaugurated is organized in association with which global body? So this is organized in association with United Nations. Recently, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu inaugurated the virtual festival of Parampara Series, and this is a festival of music and dance, and it is organized by Natya Tarangini in partnership with United Nations. The Ministry of Home Affairs has made amendments to set up Industrial Development Corporation in which Indian state or union territory? So this is Jammu and Kashmir, and recently MHA released a notification in this context. And now Jammu and Kashmir Development Act of 1970 has been amended to insert a new chapter so that Industrial Development Corporation can be set up in Jammu and Kashmir. Which Indian state has passed Krishi Upaj Mandi Amendment Bill to negate Centre's agricultural acts? So this is Chhattisgarh, and Chhattisgarh government has passed this amendment bill to nullify the effects of new agricultural laws by the central government. And this new bill gives the powers to the state government, that means powers to the Chhattisgarh government to regulate all the agricultural produce markets. Orange Line metro train was inaugurated in which country? So it was inaugurated in Pakistan. And recently Pakistan inaugurated the first transport project under CPEC, and this project was inaugurated in Lahore in Pakistan. The president of which country has called his countrymen to boycott French goods? So recently Turkey President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced and made an appeal that all Turks should boycott French goods. So these were the most important questions. Now we are going to cover important news events. Feel free to skip it if you do not like the format. So first is related to Babri Masjid demolition case. Why it was in news? Because of CBI verdict. So recently CBI, that is Central Bureau of Investigation, gave verdict in this case, and CBI acquitted all 32 accused in this case. Now this Babri demolition date is 6th of December 1992, and this masjid or this mosque was in Ayodhya, and it was situated on a hill named Ramkot. So these are important points associated to this case from exam perspective. Now one more thing, CBI represent India in Interpol. Interpol is international police, headquarter is in Lyon in France, and India is going to host Interpol conference in 2022. Next is Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmad Al Sabah. So he was a ruler of Kuwait and he passed away recently. Next is rapid diagnostic test for coronavirus. So recently WHO along with its partners decided to roll out 120 million rapid diagnostic test for COVID-19, and this is going to help the lower and middle income countries, and this will help these countries to test a large number of population. Next is prescribed rates for treatment of COVID-19. So recently Madhya Pradesh government made it mandatory for all the hospitals to display the prescribed rate of treatment for COVID-19. Next is Warehouse Commodity Finance app. So recently SDFC Bank launched this India's first warehouse commodity finance app. So this is first such initiative in our country. Next is Harijan Sevak Sangh. So this was an initiative which was started by Gandhiji, and it was started on 30th of September in 1932. The objective was to combat untouchability, and for this purpose a new weekly paper was also started, and the name of this paper was Harijan. Harijan means children of God, and it was the name given by Gandhiji to the untouchables. And to combat untouchability, Gandhiji started this initiative. Now in this context, Article 17 of Indian Constitution is important as it prohibits the untouchability and it abolished the untouchability. Next is Dharani. So this is an initiative to be launched by Telangana government. The objective is integrated land record management. So this is related to land record, and for that purpose the online database of land will be prepared for better management, and this will be started by Telangana government. Next is India's first vulture conservation and breeding center. So this is going to be in Gorakhpur, and this Gorakhpur is in Uttar Pradesh. Next is India's first tram library. So this was recently started in Kolkata, that is in West Bengal, and this was started by West Bengal Tourism Corporation. And last news is related to Shekhar Kapoor. So recently Shekhar Kapoor, the noted filmmaker, has been appointed as the president of FTII. What is FTII? It is Film and Television Institute of India, and he is going to replace BP Singh. Tel Aviv, and it is going to be the first city in the world with electric roads. So these roads will have charging facility, and the public transport buses can charge on these roads. So these are wireless electric roads, and the name of city is Tel Aviv. So this is going to be the first city in the world with electric roads that charge public buses. How that will be done? See, this system will have a set of copper coils, and these will be placed under the asphalt of street. That means under the cover of road material, these copper coils will be placed, and the vehicle, whenever the vehicle is going to drive over this road, it will charge automatically. Next is No Mask No Ride campaign. So this is a campaign started by the Sangli district of Maharashtra. So it has been started by the Sangli police. The idea is to encourage people to wear mask, and if anyone is not wearing mask, they will not be allowed to use the public transport. Maharashtra was also in news as recently Savitribai Phule University decided to set up a center for study in Maratha history. So this Savitribai Phule University is in Maharashtra. Next is NIA. So it is National Investigation Agency. It is under MHA. Why it was in news recently? Because MHA sanctioned 3 additional branches of NIA. MHA is Ministry of Home Affairs. So 3 additional branches are going to be in Imphal, Chennai and in Ranchi. It is important to note that NIA was constituted after the 26/11 terror attack in the Mumbai. So it is a statutory body and it is a counter-terrorism law enforcement agency. It is under MHA. Headquarters is in New Delhi. Recently it was in news because 3 new centers will be set up in Imphal, Chennai and Ranchi. Next is Sanitation Literacy Campaign. So this is a campaign started by NABARD and it was started in Karnataka. NABARD is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, and this will be started to promote WASH. What is WASH? It is Water, Sanitation and Hygiene. Next is first bank to enable document embedding feature on SFMS. So IDBI became the first bank to enable this document embedding feature on SFMS. What is SFMS? It is Structured Financial Messaging System, and for that purpose IDBI has developed a new platform. It is iConnect SFMS. Next is PATA Grand Awards. So PATA stands for Pacific Asia Travel Association. So these awards are given in 3 categories. One is marketing, one is sustainability, third is human capital. So this award is given in 3 categories. In marketing it was given to Kerala. That means in marketing category India won this award. In sustainability category Thailand won this award, and in human capital category China won this award. Next is Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize. These awards are given by CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and these are given for science and technology. Recently CSIR celebrated its foundation day on 26th of September. Next is Dale Khurshani. So it is from Sikkim. Recently it was in news as for this product GI tag request was submitted to DPIIT, that is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. So it is a product from Sikkim. and it is a variety of pepper. What is GI tag? It is geographical indication. Next is Dr. G.S. Amoor. So he was well-known writer and critic. He passed away recently. He used to write in Kannada and in English. Atal Tunnel. So recently Prime Minister inaugurated this Atal Tunnel. This is the world's longest highway tunnel, and this is going to connect Manali to Lahore Spiti Valley. BRO, that is Border Roads Organization, played a key role in this construction. Answer in comment box. BRO is under which union ministry? Next is RAISE 2020. So this is Responsible Artificial Intelligence for Social Empowerment. So this summit will be inaugurated by Prime Minister on 5th of October. Now there was one more raise, and it is retrofit of air conditioning to improve indoor air quality for safety and efficiency. So this is an initiative of EESL and USAID. EESL is Energy Efficiency Services Limited. USAID is United States Agency for International Development. Recently, USAID was also in news as USA committed $1.9 million to support the informal sector in our country, and this will be provided through USAID. Next is Bongo Saga. So this is a bilateral naval exercise between India and Bangladesh. It is a naval exercise. Next is Patsri Abhijan. So this is an initiative by West Bengal government. Idea is to provide better road quality by repairing. So it is road repair scheme, and it is related to West Bengal. Next is Congo fever. So recently, because of Congo fever, Palghar district in Maharashtra issued alert. Next is IB e-note. So recently Indian Bank has launched a green initiative, and the name of this initiative is IB e-note. So this is to provide paperless working environment. The Indian Bank also launched IntGuru. This is e-learning platform for its employees. So these initiatives are related to Indian Bank. Next is Krityagata. So this is an initiative by Assam. Idea is to provide online platform for pension submission and tracking. So this is related to pension. Next is Sawantwadi toys. So recently these toys were in news because of India Post, as India Post released a postcard on Sawantwadi toys. Now it is important to note that these toys are made up of wood, and these are given GI status, that is geographical indication. Last news is related to Saurav Ganguly, as Bengal Peerless Housing has appointed Saurav Ganguly as the brand ambassador. Presently, Saurav Ganguly is the president of BCCI. Saurya missile. So this was in news because DRDO has successfully test fired a new version of this Saurya missile, and this is a surface to surface missile. That means it will be launched from surface and it is going to hit the target on surface, and it is a nuclear capable missile. That means this missile is capable of launching nuclear warheads, and it is a ballistic missile. Next is Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine 2020. So this has been given to 3 individuals. These are Harvey J. Elter, Charles M. Rice, and Michael Houghton. So Michael Houghton is from Britain and these 2 are from USA. So why these 3 were selected? These 3 were selected for the discovery of hepatitis C virus. Next is SS Kalpana Chawla cargo spacecraft. So recently NASA has launched Northrop Grumman Cygnus resupply spacecraft, and this spacecraft is named after Kalpana Chawla. NASA is the space agency of USA. Next is World Space Week. So from 4th of October to 10th of October, it is World Space Week, and the theme is Satellites Improve Life. In fact, the month of October is observed as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Month of September is Poshan Mah. Next is Discovering the Heritage of Assam. So recently this book was in news and it has been written by Padampani Bora, and recently it was launched by Dr. Jitendra Singh. Next is World Teachers Day. So it is celebrated on 5th of October, and the theme was Teachers Leading in Crisis, Reimagining the Future. And next is Pushpa Bhave. So, she was popularly known as Iron Lady of Mumbai. She passed away recently. She was a social activist and academician. Apart from her, recently, Mishti Mukherjee also passed away, and she was Bollywood actress. Puducherry Airport. So recently, Puducherry Airport became the first airport of AAI to be entirely solar powered. What is AAI? It is Airport Authority of India. Next is Gram Sampark Abhiyan. So this is a financial inclusion and literacy initiative, and it has been started by PNB. Name of initiative is Gram Sampark Abhiyan. Next is Yudh Pradushan Ke Virudh. So it is a campaign, or it is a fight against pollution, and this has been started by Delhi government. Next is Gram Darshan. So it is an initiative started by Haryana. So the objective of this initiative is to digitize the record of development works in the villages. That means in how many villages which developmental activities were completed. So this will be a digital record of that, and it is going to be a single digital platform for entire developmental projects in different areas, and it has been launched by Haryana. Recently, Haryana was also in news because of Meri Fasal Mera Byaura initiative. So this is an initiative started by Haryana government for paddy procurement. Next is Hero Motocorp. So recently Hero Motocorp was in news as it appointed former Air Chief B.S. Dhanoa as independent director. Apart from that, Hero Motocorp also appointed Sanjay Bhan as the head of global business. Next is Nobel Prize in Physics. So this Nobel Prize in Physics was given to three personalities. One is Roger Penrose, another is Renard Genzel, and third one is Andrea Ghez. So these three were selected for the Nobel Prize in Physics for this year. Now, Roger Penrose was selected for the discovery that black hole formation is a robust prediction of general theory of relativity. So two important terms. First, it is black hole formation, and it is general theory of relativity. Now, these two were selected for the discovery of a supermassive compact object at the center of our galaxy. Next is MOHUA, that is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It is the nodal ministry for PM Swanidhi, and under this PM Swanidhi, it partnered with Swiggy. Swiggy is a food delivery platform. So now, with the help of this agreement, street vendors will be able to sell their products online, and this has been done by agreement between Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and Swiggy. Next is First Pirul Power Project. So recently Uttarakhand government launched the First Pirul Power Project. Next is Ratan Tata. So Mr. Tata was in news recently as he was given Lifetime Achievement Award by IACC. What is IACC? It is Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. Next is the very extremely most naughty Asur Tales for Kids. So this is a book, kids book by Anand Neelakantan. And Anand Neelakantan is the author of Bahubali series. Next is Bapu the Unforgettable. So this is a book launched by Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia. And last is DRDO SMART. So the SMART is an initiative by DRDO. What is the full form of SMART? It is Supersonic Missile Assisted Release of Torpedo. So recently this was successfully flight tested by DRDO, and that is why it was in news. MPC was in news. MPC is Monetary Policy Committee. It is a committee of 6 members, out of which 3 are appointed by government and 3 are from RBI. Recently, these 3 were appointed by the government, and for the appointment, there was a search cum selection committee, and this committee was headed by Tarun Bajaj, that is by the Economic Affairs Secretary. So 3 personalities were selected for this, and these 3 are Ashima Goel, Jayant R. Verma, and Shashank Bide. So these 3 were selected to be the member of Monetary Policy Committee, and they will have tenure of 4 years. Now please remember that the members which are appointed by the government are not eligible for reappointment. That means these members cannot be reappointed in this Monetary Policy Committee. They will have tenure of 4 years. This Monetary Policy Committee is headed by RBI Governor. Next is Shyamji Krishna Verma. So recently he was in news as Prime Minister paid tribute to Shyamji Krishna Verma on his birth anniversary. So he was a well-known freedom fighter, and he had set up India House in London. Next is Najeeb Tarakai. So he was a cricketer from Afghanistan and he passed away recently. Apart from him, recently Vishal Anand passed away. He was a Bollywood actor. In addition to him, Anil Devgan passed away. He was Bollywood director. Apart from him, Justice A.S. Dave passed away. Justice A.S. Dave was the acting Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court. Next is Sofia Vergara. So as per the Forbes list, she is the highest paid actress in the world. So in the category of actress, she is the highest paid. In the category of male actors, Dwayne Johnson is the highest paid. From Indian side, only Akshay Kumar was mentioned in this list. Next is related to Chhattisgarh. So Chhattisgarh was in news because of two events. First is Corona Intensive Community Survey. So Chhattisgarh started this campaign for preventing the coronavirus transmission. Chhattisgarh was also in news as it became the first state to legally challenge the new farms laws. So Chhattisgarh challenged these new laws in the Supreme Court on the grounds that they violate the state subject. State subject means, as per Chhattisgarh government, state government is entitled to make laws on this. Central government do not have powers in this context. Next is Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center. So recently this training center was in news as it signed an agreement with NCERT. Why this agreement was signed? To convert the NCERT books into Indian Sign Language. Next is related to Quad. So 4 countries are the members of Quad: India, USA, Japan and Australia. Recently the Quad meeting was organized in Tokyo. And from Indian side, our External Affairs Minister participated in this event. So this was second Quad meeting. First Quad meeting was organized in 2019. And during this meeting, discussions were organized on FOIP. What is FOIP? It is Free and Open Indo-Pacific. Next is Australian women's cricket team. So recently, they achieved a new milestone as they equaled a world record for most consecutive one-day international matches victories. The record is in the name of Australian men's cricket team and it is a record of 21 consecutive wins. Now, Australian women's cricket team also achieved this milestone. That means they won 21 ODI matches consecutively. Next is Pick My Cloth. So this is a platform, e-commerce platform which has been developed by the IIT Warangal and it has been launched for weavers so that they can sell their products directly to the customers. Vigran. So recently, offshore patrol vessel was launched and it was inaugurated in Indian Coast Guard. It is 7th offshore patrol vessel and it has been built by Larsen & Toubro. And in 2015, Defense Ministry gave contract to Larsen & Toubro for the construction of 7 offshore patrol vessel. So this was the 7th. A term 23 yards. It is a new product line which has been launched by Ravi Sastry. Ravi Sastry is the coach of Indian men's cricket team and this is a product line of male grooming and hygiene products. Name of the brand is 23 yards. Next is related to a joint venture. So Titan decided to exit from a joint venture with Montblanc. Montblanc is a German brand. Next is Uday Shankar. So recently Uday Shankar decided to step down as the president of Walt Disney and as chairman of Star and Disney India. And it will be effective from 31st of December. Next is Zircon hypersonic missile. So recently Russia successfully test fired the Zircon hypersonic cruise missile in the Arctic region. Next is Sabah al-Khalid al-Sabah. So the Kuwait government headed by Prime Minister Sabah al-Khalid al-Sabah submitted its resignation and this was done in the context of upcoming general elections in Kuwait. Next is Axis Bank Vistara. So Axis Bank has partnered with Vistara to launch a co-branded Forex card. So this is going to be first of its kind collaboration where a bank and an Indian airline collaborated for a co-branded Forex card. Next is J. Venkatramu. So recently J. Venkatramu was appointed as MD and CEO of IPPB, that is India Post Payment Bank. Next is M. Rajeshwar Rao. So recently M. Rajeshwar Rao was appointed as RBI Deputy Governor. Next is related to Sarla Puruskar. So noted Odia poet Nityanand Nayak will receive Sarla Puraskar this time. Next is related to PM Swanidhi. So this scheme was in use because of various points. First, it is a scheme by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It is a scheme for street vendors. SIDBI is going to be the implementing authority. Madhya Pradesh is the top state in terms of implementation of the scheme. Recently, it partnered with Swiggy. Swiggy is a online food delivery platform. Now, it was also in use because of API integration. What is API? It is Application Programming Interface. So recently, there was API integration between this PM Swanidhi portal and e-Mudra portal of SBI. Next is MSME Prerna. So this is an initiative which was recently announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. It is for MSME sector. The idea is to provide mentorship for the MSME sectors, and it is a program by Indian Bank to mentor the business in the field of MSME. Next is brand and logo for Indian cotton. So recently, Union Textile Minister Smriti Irani launched the first ever brand and logo for the Indian cotton, and this was done on the occasion of 2nd World Cotton Day. So the World Cotton Day was celebrated on 7th of October. For the first time it was celebrated in 2019. This is second occasion on which it was celebrated. So on this occasion, new brand and logo for this Indian cotton was announced. And now India's premium cotton will be known as Kasturi cotton. Now in this context, please read about Cotton 4 Group. Next is Startup India Showcase. So DPIIT, that is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, launched this online discovery platform for startups, and it is Startup India Showcase. This DPIIT is under Commerce Ministry. Next is Ramvilas Paswan. So Union Minister Ramvilas Paswan passed away. He was associated to LJP, that is Lok Janshakti Party. Apart from him, ex-CBI Director Ashwini Kumar also passed away. Next is first state to cap prices of masks. So recently Maharashtra became the first state to cap the price of masks as well as the price of sanitizers. Recently Maharashtra was also in news as the first music college of Maharashtra will be named after Dinanath Mangeshkar. Next is Phoenix settlement. So it is in South Africa, and to be specific, it is in Durban. Recently it was in news because South African government declared the Phoenix settlement in Durban as a national heritage site on the occasion of birth anniversary of Gandhiji. This Phoenix settlement is a place where Gandhiji started his experiments with Satyagraha, and he printed his newspaper, and it was Indian Opinion. Next is animal bridges. So to avoid the human-animal conflict and to ensure the safe passage of animals, India will set animal overpass, and these will be set up on Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, and these will be set up on the lines of Netherlands. So on this Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, 5 such animal overpass will be set up. The infographics in this context are already uploaded on Telegram channel. You can check it from there. Next is Dishtavo. So this is an initiative by Goa government, and this is a e-learning platform launched by Goa government, and this platform contains more than 20,000 recorded lectures for candidates of higher education. So this is initiative related to Goa government. This is related to higher education. Loan against securities. So recently ICICI Bank introduced a debit card facility for customers so that they can use this facility of loan against securities, Rudram 1. So this is anti-radiation missile, and this has been developed by DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization. Recently DRDO successfully test fired this Rudram, and it is India's anti-radiation missile. Next is related to Ola. So the Bengaluru based cab aggregator company was in news because London's Public Transport Authority decided to ban Ola on the grounds of violation in the passenger safety norms. Ola is an Indian company. Headquarters is in Bengaluru. It is a cab aggregator. Next is related to equalization levy. So this was introduced in 2016, and this was introduced to impose tax on the digital transactions. Recently it was in news because government had imposed 2% tax on the sale of goods and delivery of services through non-resident e-commerce operator. So because of that, Google had paid additional equalization levy on the digital transactions, and that is why it was in news. Next is Stockholm Convention. So it was in news because Environment Ministry decided to ban 7 chemicals. So please read about Stockholm Convention, Minamata Convention and Basel Convention. Next is bamboo rice or mulayari. So bamboo rice is also known as mulayari, and recently Tripura launched bamboo rice, and these are protein-rich rice. Next is related to RTGS system. So RTGS stands for Real-Time Gross Settlement. So recently RBI announced that now from December 2020, the RTGS facility will be available 24/7. That means you can do RTGS anytime. Right now there are time restrictions. The good thing about RTGS is that there is no payment cap. That means there is no upper limit for payment transfer. Of course, there is a minimum limit for this kind of transaction, and it is 2 lakh. That means for RTGS, you need to transfer at least 2 lakhs. So it is for large value transactions. Next is non-invasive bandage. So IISc Bengaluru has developed a non-invasive bandage with magnet nanofibers. So these can treat skin cancer. Next is tree transplantation policy. So this policy is related to Delhi government. Delhi government was also in news because of C Codes initiative. So the C Codes initiative was started to provide coding skills to the girls in school, and this was launched by Delhi government. Similarly, this tree transplantation policy is also related to Delhi government, under which 80% of the trees which were uprooted for any construction or for any developmental project, now they will be transplanted somewhere else. Now suppose for this project you uprooted 100 trees. So 80% of these trees, minimum 80%, will be transplanted somewhere else. And the transplantation agency will get their payment only if 80% of the transplanted trees survive. That means you uprooted the trees from here, you are going to transplant all these trees to some new location, and if at least 80% survived, then only payment will be given to the transplantation agency. Next is Hindustan Times Codeathon. So this was organized by the Delhi government in association with Hindustan Times to train the students in coding. Next is COVAX facility. So recently it was in news as China formally joined this COVAX alliance. So this is alliance of WHO, CEPI and Gavi. Next is Jewar Airport. So recently Uttar Pradesh government has signed an agreement with Zurich International Airport for design, building and operating the Jewar Airport for 40 years. This Jewar Airport is going to be in Uttar Pradesh, and this will be developed as PPP, that is public-private partnership, and it will be functional in 2024. Next is related to Center of Excellence. So recently Meghalaya government has entered in a partnership with Israel to establish a Center of Excellence on high-value vegetables. So this has been done to improve the livelihood of people, and this is going to be a Center of Excellence for high-value vegetables. Next is online train ticket bookings. So recently Amazon has partnered with IRCTC to provide the facility of reservation on train tickets, and this facility will be available on Amazon. Next is Nilesh Shah. So recently Nilesh Shah has been re-elected as the chairperson of AMFI, that is Association of Mutual Funds in India. Recently SEBI released guidelines for the mutual funds. Next is third bi-monthly monetary policy by RBI. So this monetary policy is decided by Monetary Policy Committee. It is a 6-member committee. 3 are from RBI, 3 are by government. Recently these 3 were appointed. The tenure is of 4 years, and these government appointed members are not eligible for reappointment. That means after 4 years they can never be reappointed as member of Monetary Policy Committee. So as per the latest Monetary Policy Committee, repo is 4%, reverse repo is 3.35%. Repo and reverse repo are part of LAF, that is Liquidity Adjustment Facility. On the other hand, MSF, that is Marginal Standing Facility, and bank rate are 4.25%. World Post Day. So this was on 9th of October. Apart from that, 9th of October was also celebrated as IFS Day, that is Indian Foreign Service Day. Mukhyamantri Saur Swarojgar Yojana. SOAR stands for solar. So this is a scheme which has been launched by Uttarakhand government. So the objective of this scheme is to promote self-employment. And how this self-employment opportunity will be generated? This will be generated because of green energy. The idea is to produce more and more green energy, that means energy through green ways, and that way it will help in employment generation. Next is Sagar Kavach. So this is a security exercise. Recently it was organized by Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard. Next is KK Usha. So Justice KK Usha passed away recently, and she was the first woman Chief Justice of Kerala High Court. Next is Goa. So recently Goa was in news because of Har Ghar Jal initiative. So recently Goa became the first state in our country to provide tap water connections to the every household in rural areas. Next is Crucible. So recently Amazon ended the development of its video game Crucible. So this Crucible is a video game and it is related to Amazon. Recently, Amazon decided to end this project. Next is Bashar al-Khasavenko. So recently, Jordan King Abdullah II appointed Bashar al-Khasavenko as a new Prime Minister of country. Next is Swanirbhar Nari. So this is a scheme by Assam government, and this is a scheme for the empowerment of economically disadvantaged and vulnerable women of the state. This is a scheme by state government of Assam. Next is World Mental Health Day. So this is on 10th of October. Theme was mental health for all. And on this World Mental Health Day, Thawarchand Gehlot inaugurated a conference, and it is mental health looking beyond COVID-19. Now apart from this Mental Health Day, World Migratory Bird Day was also celebrated on 10th of October. Actually, it is on 2 days. One is 10th of October and one is 9th of May. And the theme of this Migratory Bird Day was Birds Connect Our World. Apart from that, 9th of October was World Egg Day. 9th of October was also celebrated as IFS Day, and 9th of October was also celebrated as World Post Day. On the other hand, 10th of October, that is one day after World Post Day, we celebrate National Postal Day. And this week from 9th to 15th of October is celebrated as National Postal Week. On the other hand, 11th of October is celebrated as International Girl Child Day. So it is International Girl Child Day. On the other hand, National Girl Child Day is on 24th of January. And the theme of this year's International Girl Child Day was My Voice, Our Equal Future. Girls Take Over program. So this was in news because of Finland. Actually, 11th of October was celebrated as International Day of Girl Child. So on this occasion, Ava Murto assumed the post of Finland Prime Minister for 1 day. Actually, she assumed the post of Finland Prime Minister on 7th of October, but this was done in the backdrop of this International Day of Girl Child, and this was done as a part of Girls Takeover program. Next is Jagananna Vidya Kanuka scheme. So, as the name suggests, it is a scheme related to Andhra Pradesh, and it is a scheme to distribute school kits among the poor children. So the state government will distribute school kits to the kids of poor family. Now recently, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister was also in news because of corruption issues in the context of judiciary. So please read that matter, that why the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh wrote a letter to the Chief Justice of India regarding corruption in judiciary. And what is this entire issue? Next is blue flag tag. So recently, 8 beaches of India got blue flag tag. The list of these 8 beaches is already uploaded on Telegram. You can check it from there. In exam, they may ask you that which beach is associated to which state. So please go through that list. Next is Indian economy. So as per a study by Lancet, Indian economy will be the 3rd largest economy by 2050. So we will be 3rd largest economy after USA and China. So by 2050, we will be 3rd largest. And by 2030, we will be 4th largest. That means we will be behind USA, China and Japan. and in 2050 we will overtake Japan as well. So this is based on a study by Lancet. Next is Razorpay. So recently Razorpay joined the Unicorn Club as Razorpay raised 100 million of funding, and it has received this funding from Sequoia and Singapore Sovereign Wealth Fund GIC. So this GIC is a sovereign wealth fund of Singapore. Now Razorpay became the 5th fintech company to achieve this unicorn status. Next is Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences. So it was given to Paul R. Milgrom and Robert B. Wilson. Now a PDF of all the Nobel Prizes is already uploaded on Telegram channel. Please check it from there. Next is Mission Lantana. So this is a special drive or special initiative to uproot the Lantana bushes in Sajjangarh Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan. So this Lantana is invasive species, and to uproot such species in Sajjangarh Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan, this Mission Lantana was launched. Next is Eiffel Grand Prix. So Lewis Hamilton won this 2020 Eiffel Grand Prix. Next is French Open 2020. So in men's single category, it was won by Rafael Nadal. In women's single category, it was won by Iga Swiatek. And C is from Poland. Nadal is from Spain. Next is SO2 emission. So recently, Greenpeace India and CREA, that is Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air, these two released a report, and on the basis of that report, India is on top position in terms of SO2 emission. India is top emitter of sulfur dioxide since last 5 years. But this time, we recorded a significant decline in SO2 emission, even though we are on top position. Next is World Arthritis Day. So it is on 12th of October, and the National Arthritis Awareness Month is May. That is, in May, we spread awareness about arthritis, and for that, awareness campaigns are launched. Next is Bhaga River. So recently, Barsi Bridge was launched, and this bridge is India's longest steel bridge, and this is on Manali-Leh Highway. So this is India's longest steel bridge on Manali-Leh Highway, and this is Barsi Bridge, and this Barsi Bridge is over Bhaga River. Overall, it is the second longest bridge in our country. The longest bridge is Colonel Chewang Rinchen Setu, and this is on Shoyak River. Please remember, it is India's longest steel bridge, but when we talk about overall category of longest bridges in our country, then this one is longest, and this is on Shoyak River. Next is Bhai Taru Singh. So recently, Prime Minister paid tribute to Bhai Taru Singh on his 300th birth anniversary. Apart from that, few other personalities were in news because of their birth or death anniversaries. So recently, Prime Minister released a special 100 rupees coin on the 100th birth anniversary of Vijayaraje Scindia, and she was a founding ruler of BJP. So she is associated to politics, and on the occasion of her 100th birth anniversary, Prime Minister launched 100 rupees coin. Apart from that, recently Prime Minister paid tribute to JP Narayan and to Nanaji Deshmukh. So Nanaji Deshmukh was a social activist, and JP Narayan was a well-known freedom fighter. Next is Chetan Anand. So recently, Chetan Anand was named as the brand ambassador for Transform. So Chetan Anand is associated to badminton, and he has been named as the brand ambassador of this badminton brand Transform. PepsiCo. So PepsiCo is going to set up its potato chip production unit in Uttar Pradesh in Koshi, Mathura, and it will be an investment of 814 crore rupees. So obviously it is going to be a huge investment, and this will be in Uttar Pradesh. This will be done by PepsiCo for a potato chip production unit. Next is Charlie Murray. So Charlie Murray was associated to Olympics as he was 400 hurdles champion in Olympics, and he passed away recently. Apart from him, recently Gujarati singer Kamudi Munshi passed away, and the singer was popularly known as Nightingale of Gujarat. Next is United Nations Human Rights Council. So recently this council was in news because Pakistan has been re-elected as the member of this United Nations Human Rights Council. Apart from Pakistan, Russia and Cuba were also elected for this council. Next is Suraksha Kavach. So recently Maharashtra Police along with Indian Army organized this exercise Suraksha Kavach, and it is anti-terror exercise. Next is aggregate exposure limit for small businesses. So recently RBI increased the aggregate exposure limit for small businesses. Previously this limit was 5 crore rupees. Now it has been increased to 7.5 crore rupees. It is important to note that it is for small businesses. Next is commitment to reducing inequality. So this is a index which was released recently, and this was released by Oxfam. It is non-governmental organization, and as per this index, Norway is on top position. On the other hand, India is on 129th position, and as per this index, India has spent only 4% of its money on health, and therefore India is one of the lowest spender in the world in terms of expenditure on health. Next is Chilka Lake. Recently Chilka Lake was in news because Fishing Cat has been named as the ambassador of Chilka Lake. Apart from that, few years ago, West Bengal government officially declared Fishing Cat as the state animal. Next is Human Cost of Disasters from 2000 to 2019. So this is a report which has been released by UNDRR, that is United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. So as per this report, Asia has suffered the highest number of disasters, and then America, and then Africa. Next is impact based cyclone warning system. So this has been launched by IMD, that is India Meteorological Department. It is under Ministry of Earth Sciences, and it was established in 1875. Next is 14th of October. So it is celebrated as World Standards Day or International Standards Day, and the theme was protecting the planet with standards. Next is enhanced follow-up list. So this is related to FATF, that is Financial Action Task Force. Recently Pakistan was put into this enhanced follow-up list. Previously Pakistan was in a regular follow-up list of FATF. Recently Asia Pacific group of FATF has kept Pakistan in this enhanced follow-up list. Next is World Economic Outlook. So this has been released by IMF. As per IMF, Indian economy will contract by 10.3% this time, and next year it will grow by 8.8%. So this time it will be contraction, next time it will be growth. Next is ACE credit card. So recently Axis Bank collaborated with Google Pay to launch these ACE credit card. Apart from that, recently Amazon Pay has partnered with Uber for digital payments in our country. Next is 33% quota for women. So recently Punjab government approved 33% quota for women for direct recruitment in state civil services. Mission Shakti. So it is related to Uttar Pradesh government, and Uttar Pradesh government decided to launch this Mission Shakti for women's safety for the upcoming Navratri festival. Uttar Pradesh government was also in news as recently it launched Operation Durachari. That too was related to women's safety. Next is Paytm. So recently Paytm launched same day bank settlement facility. That means the settlement of payment will be done on same day instead of waiting for upcoming days. Next is Central Bank of the Year Award. So Bank of Ghana has won the Central Bank of the Year Award. On the other hand, Mark Carney has won the Governor of the Year Award, and Mark Carney is the Governor of Bank of England. Next is Project RED. So recently LIC Housing Finance Limited has launched this Project RED. What is the full form of RED? It is Reimagining Excellence Through Digital Transformation. So this project has been launched by LIC Housing Finance Limited to improve the efficiency at every level of the organization. So the project is to increase efficiency in the organization. Next is GRAP and EPCA. So this is related to Delhi government, and we have already covered this in our past sections as well. So please read about GRAP and EPCA. Next is Argentina. So recently Argentina became the first country in the world to approve the use of drought resistant genetically modified wheat. So this variety of wheat is genetically modified and this is drought resistant and it has been approved by Argentina, and therefore Argentina became the first country in the world to do so. Now in India, the nodal authority for GM crops, that means nodal authority, is GEAC. Now answer in comment box, this GEAC is under which ministry and who is the chairperson of GEAC? Next is Mansi Joshi. So recently Mansi Joshi was in news because of Barbie. Barbie is American doll manufacturer and Mansi Joshi is para badminton world champion. So recently this American doll manufacturer company Barbie modeled a doll like Mansi Joshi, and therefore she became the first Indian para athlete to get such a Barbie doll which is modeled like her. Next is Jashan-e-Dal. So as the name suggests, this was a festival, sports festival, which was organized in Dal Lake, and this was organized by J&K Police. Next is 800. So this is the movie which is based on Sri Lankan cricketer Muthaiya Muralidharan, and his role will be played by Vijay Satpathy. Actually, it was in news because of a controversy. So that's why you should know it. Next is the Healthy Life Program. So SDFC Bank has launched this Healthy Life Program for its customers. And this is a program which has been launched in association with Apollo Hospitals. So SDFC and Apollo Hospitals have collaborated to launch this Healthy Life Program, and it provides holistic healthcare solution. Next is world's biggest zinc smelter project. So this is going to be in Gujarat, and for that Gujarat government has signed a pact with Vedanta Group, and this zinc smelter project is going to be the world's biggest, and it is going to be in Doshawada, and it is in Tapi district of Gujarat. Next is Srikant Datar. So recently Indian origin Srikant Datar named Harvard Business School Dean. Next is Shobha Naidu. So she passed away recently, and she was renowned Kuchipudi dancer. Apart from her, recently John Reid passed away, and he was well-known cricketer from New Zealand. Next is FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization. Headquarters is in Rome, and recently it was in news because Prime Minister is going to release a commemorative coin of 75 rupees on the occasion of 75th anniversary of FAO, and it is on 16th of October. Next is SEHGAL mission. So recently Odisha government launched this SEHGAL mission, and it is a mission to provide drinking water in taps. Next is Epivac Corona. So this is the second vaccine which has been announced by Russia. Now, recently Russia was also in news because of Alexei Navalny. Now, please note that in yesterday's lecture, I had mentioned that due to poisoning. Now, please note that in last lecture, I had mentioned that he was poisoned and this led to his death. Now, later I realized that that news article was not reliable and he is still alive. So, please correct this. Next is 15th of October. So 15th of October is International Day of Rural Women, and the theme was building rural women's resilience in the wake of COVID-19. Apart from that, 15th of October was also celebrated as World Students Day, and it is celebrated because it is the birth anniversary of our former president Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Next is ISA, that is International Solar Alliance. The headquarters is in Gurugram, and recently India and France were re-elected as president and co-president of ISA for the time period of 2 years. Next is DGFT, that is Directorate General of Foreign Trade. So recently DGFT changed some trade norms. First is related to air conditioners. So now air conditioners are in prohibited category. What does that mean? Previously air conditioners were in free category. That means there was no restriction on the imports of air conditioners, but now DGFT has put them in restricted category. DGFT have put them in prohibited category. On the other hand, DGFT removed restrictions on the alcohol based hand sanitizers. Previously government imposed restrictions on the export of these hand sanitizers, that means alcohol based hand sanitizers, but now these restrictions are removed. On the other hand, restrictions were imposed on the import of air conditioners. 16th of October, and it is World Food Day. 16th of October is World Food Day, and the theme was Grow, Nourish, Sustain Together, and it is celebrated by FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization. Headquarters is in Rome in Italy, and on the occasion of 75th anniversary of FAO, Prime Minister launched a coin of 75 rupees. So 16th of October was World Food Day, while 15th of October was Hand Wash Day, and 13th of October was International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction. Next event is license fees for multiplexes. So recently Uttar Pradesh government decided to exempt the license fees of multiplexes and cinema halls for 6 months periods. So this exemption is given for 6 months periods, and it is given by the state government of Uttar Pradesh. Next is Operation Greens TOP to Total. So TOP stands for Tomato, Onion, Potato, and this scheme was started for price stabilization of these commodities. Later, it was extended to a lot of other products as well. Now, why it was in news? Because the government will provide the subsidy of 50% on the transportation of specified fruits and vegetables, and this subsidy will be provided if the specified fruits and vegetables are transported through Kisan Rail. So if these products are transported through Kisan Rail, then in that case government will provide a 50% subsidy on the transportation cost, and this will be done as a part of this Operation Greens. Next is Toll Boy. So this is the name of bomb, and recently this Second World War bomb was detonated underwater by the Poland Navy. So during Second World War this was dropped by a British Air Force, and it was in news recently because few days ago this was detonated underwater by the Navy of Poland. Next is Madan B. Lokur Committee. So recently Supreme Court has appointed a committee, and this committee will be headed by retired Justice Madan B. Lokur. Now this committee has been set up to monitor the stubble burning in Punjab, Haryana and in Uttar Pradesh. That means the objective is to prevent stubble burning, and for that this monitoring committee has been set up. It is under Justice Madan B. Lokur. Next is National Authority for Recycling of Ships. So recently central government notified DG of Shipping as National Authority for Recycling of Ships. DG stands for Director General. So this National Authority of Ships Recycling will be set up at Gandhinagar in Gujarat. Next is Athikam. So legendary Malayalam poet Athikam passed away. Malayalam is the official language of Kerala, and it is a classical language also. Apart from Athikam, recently Kishore Bhimani passed away, and Kishore Bhimani was a cricket journalist and commentator. Next is Bhanu Athaiya. So she passed away recently. She was the first Indian to win Oscar, and she won the Best Costume Design Oscar for her work in film Gandhi, and this film was directed by Richard Attenborough. This is a film of 1982. Next is Constantina Dita. So recently Constantina Dita was in news as Constantina Dita has been named as the ambassador for World Athletics Half Marathon Championship. Kapila. Kapila stands for Kalam Program for Intellectual Property, Literacy and Awareness. So this program has been started by MOE, that is Ministry of Education, and it is related to Dr. Kalam. It was launched on the occasion of his 89th birth anniversary, and it was on 15th of October. So this Kapila program stands for Kalam Program for Intellectual Property, Literacy and Awareness. So this is related to intellectual property. Next is Family Credit Card. So this initiative has been started by IKEA, and for that IKEA has partnered with MasterCard and Citibank. So these three have collaborated to launch Family Credit Card. Next is International Day for Eradication of Poverty. So it is on 17th of October, and the theme of this year was Acting Together to Achieve Social and Environmental Justice for All. Next is National Security Guard. So on 16th of October, this National Security Guard Day was celebrated. NSG, that is National Security Guards, are also known as Black Cats, and NSG was established in 1984. Next is The Battle of Belonging. So it is a book by Dr. Shashi Tharoor. Next is Red Light On Gaadi Off campaign. So this is a campaign by Delhi government. The idea behind this campaign is to encourage people to switch off their vehicle when there is a red light on traffic signal. So at that point of time, if you are going to switch off your vehicle, it will save your fuel, plus it will help in reduction of pollution. So that is why this campaign was started. Next is Rajiv Gauba panel. So recently the government constituted a panel of secretaries, and this panel is under the chairpersonship of Home Secretary, and this panel is under the chairmanship of Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba. Now why this panel has been constituted? This panel has been constituted to streamline the telecom spectrum allocation process. Next is INS Sindhuveer. So recently India decided to deliver this Kilo class submarine INS Sindhuveer to Myanmar. So this will be the first submarine of Myanmar Navy, and India decided to deliver this INS Sindhuveer to Myanmar. Next is Awaz initiative. So it is initiative started by Rajasthan government. Objective is women's safety, and this Awaz stands for Action Against Women Related Crime and Awareness for Justice. Next is Ashan Conservation Reserve. So this is in Uttarakhand, and this is the first Ramsar site of Uttarakhand. Ramsar is a convention related to wetlands. Actually, Ramsar is a name of place in Iran, and this convention was signed at Ramsar. That's why it is Ramsar Convention. It is related to wetland conservation. Why this convention was in news? Because recently Ashan Conservation Reserve was given the status of Ramsar site, and this is first such site in Uttarakhand to get such status. Next is My Town, My Pride. So this is an initiative started by Jammu and Kashmir. Actually, this is an initiative to provide governance at doorsteps. That means to provide government services at your doorsteps. A similar initiative was started by Jammu and Kashmir Administration for rural areas. So for rural areas, the name of campaign was Back to Village, and for urban areas, the name of campaign is My Town, My Pride. So it is a campaign started by Jammu and Kashmir. Idea is to provide governance services at doorsteps. Next is Dhruv Dhanraj Bahal. So recently he has been appointed as COO, that is Chief Operating Officer of Bharat Pay. Recently Bharat Pay was also in news as it announced a TV campaign, and the name of campaign is Team Bharat Pay. And for this campaign, 11 cricketers were appointed as the brand ambassadors. Next is Kapil Dev Kamath. So he was a politician. He was associated to Bihar, and he was the Panchayati Raj Minister of Bihar, and he was associated to JDU political party. Recently he passed away. Next is Vishal V. Sarma. So he has been appointed as India's permanent representative to UNESCO. Next is Mobile Water Testing Laboratory Van. So recently Haryana government launched this laboratory van to ensure the testing of potable water. Next is International Weightlifting Federation. So recently this federation was in news because Dr. Michael Irani has been appointed as the interim president of this International Weightlifting Federation. Pradeep Ghosh. He was well-known Bengali artist, and he passed away recently. Next is SEHGAL International Asia Area. So Jammu and Kashmir is going to host this SEHGAL International Asia Area in 2021, and this is a organization of tourism leaders. So the Congress, that means the meeting of this organization, is going to be in Jammu and Kashmir in 2021. Next is Earthshot Prize. So recently Prince William launched this Earthshot Prize, and this prize has been launched, and it will be given to those who are going to provide solutions for our environmental problems and for solving our climate issues. So this is related to environment and climate change. and this has been launched by Prince William. Next is Global Hunger Index 2020. So it is index which is jointly published by Concern Worldwide and by Welt Hunger Life. So this Welt Hunger Life is from Germany and this Concern Worldwide is from Ireland. So these two organizations play a key role in this Global Hunger Index. Now as per this index, India is on 94th position out of 107 countries. There are 4 major components of this Global Hunger Index. These are child stunting, child wasting, child mortality rate, and 4th one is undernourishment. So these are the 4 indicators. It is important to note that last year India was on 102nd position and this time we are on 94th position. So as you can see, out of 107 countries we are on 94th position. That means only few countries are behind us. So we need to be serious about it and we need to focus on this aspect, because a hungry India can never be a global superpower. So we need to take it seriously. Next is Buldana pattern. So this Buldana district is in Maharashtra, and recently this term Buldana pattern was in use because of water conservation efforts. So in this pattern, the highway construction and water conservation are synchronized, and this was quite successful in Maharashtra, and that is why Niti Aayog is working on a national strategy for such water conservation efforts. So this Buldana pattern is related to water conservation. It is a district in Maharashtra. Next is Adopt an Animal Scheme. So this is a scheme related to Nandankanan Zoological Park, and this zoological park is in Odisha. So under this scheme, the idea is to mobilize resources for animals. So you can adopt any animal, and this way you can provide financial assistance to this Nandankanan Zoological Park in Odisha. Next is Stacked Odds. So recently United Nations released this report and the title is Stacked Odds, and this report was released on the occasion of International Day of Girl Child, and as per this report, 1 in every 130 females globally is living in modern slavery. So this is a report by United Nations. Next is Campaign Against Encrypted Social Media Messages. So these social media companies use end-to-end encryption, and that is why the governments of different countries started a campaign against this end-to-end encryption. Why they are starting this campaign? They are saying, that means the governments of different countries are saying that because of this end-to-end encryption, law enforcement agencies cannot take action against illegal activities. Why? Because they are not able to decrypt these messages. So that is why this campaign has been started against encrypted social media messages, and this is a campaign which has been led by UK. Recently, India also joined this campaign. Next is aquaponic cultivation. So recently SEHGAL Mohali has developed new technology for this aquaponic cultivation of plants. Now what is the meaning of this term aquaponic? It means it is a technique where fish plus plants are growing together. So these two complement each other and provide support to each other. So the fish waste will provide organic food to the plants, and the plants naturally filter the water which is used to replenish the fish tank. Next is India's first pediatric kidney swab transplantation. So this was done in BMC run KEM hospital in Maharashtra. Now what is the meaning of this term swab transplantation? See, suppose there are two families. One is family 1, another is family 2. Now in family 1, the F11 member want to give kidney to F12, but the problem is that it is not matching. Similarly, in family 2, F21 want to give kidney to F22. Here also the problem is that it is not matching. That means it is not matching with the donor. So there is a problem of mismatch between the donor and recipient. So what they are going to do? This person will give kidney to this person and this will give to this person. So this is swab transplantation. So it is for those families who do not have matching donors in their own family. It is also known as pool transplant or paired exchange. Next is related to CRPF. So recently CRPF was in news, that is Central Reserve Police Force was in news as it has collaborated with IIT Delhi and with DRDO and with JATC. What is JATC? It is Joint Advanced Technology Center. So why it has collaborated with these organizations? It has collaborated with these organizations to support its research and development capacities. Next is related to Bangladesh. So next year, Bangladesh is going to celebrate its 50th year of independence, and that is why it has invited Indian Prime Minister. It is going to celebrate its 50th year of independence on 26th of March. Next is Denmark Open title. So in female category of this badminton tournament, Nozomi Okuhara won the title, while in male category, Andres Antonsen won the tournament. This is related to badminton, and she was winner in women's single title and he was winner in men's single title. Next is solidarity trial. So it is related to trial of vaccine in the context of COVID-19, and it is related to WHO. Apart from this trial, few other terms are related. One is faith trial. Faith trial is led by Glenmark, and this recovery trial is led by UK. So all three are related to COVID-19. Next is global tuberculosis report. So this report was recently released by WHO, that is World Health Organization. Tuberculosis is a bacterial disease, and it is because of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Next is Nirbudh initiatives. So under these Nirbudh initiatives, EPFO, that is Employees Provident Fund Organization, is providing WhatsApp based support to ensure seamless service delivery in this pandemic situation. EPFO is Employees Provident Fund Organization. Next is MACS 6478. So this is a variety of wheat, and recently it was in news because this variety is helping the farmers in Maharashtra to double their crop yield. Next is Baba Banda Singh Bahadur. So recently Prime Minister paid tribute to Baba Banda Singh Bahadur on his 350th Jayanti. He was well-known Sikh warrior and he was a commander of Khalsa army. Next is related to Tanishq. So it was in news because of recent ad controversy. It is a jewelry brand and it is a division of Titan, and Titan is a company of Tata Group. Now the headquarters of Tanishq is in Bengaluru in Karnataka, and this Tanishq is promoted by Tata Group in collaboration with TIDCO. This is important. TIDCO stands for Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation. Next is Mr. Prime Minister, We Shrank the Dragon. So this is a book which is by Pradeep Gora. Next is Flipkart. So recently it was in news because Jammu and Kashmir administration has collaborated with Flipkart to support the weavers and artisans so that their products can be sold across the globe. Next is MoPay. So it is a new platform which has been developed for dairy farmers, and recently this initiative was launched in Rajasthan, and this has been launched by Stalaps. So the name of initiative is MoPay. Company is Stalaps. It has been launched in Rajasthan. It has been launched for dairy farmers, and it is a direct payment platform. Next is Y20 Global Summit. So it is a summit of Ministers of Youth Affairs and Sports of G20 countries. For this year, Saudi Arabia is the head of G20 group. So this Y20 Global Summit was also hosted by Saudi Arabia. From Indian side, our Minister of Youth Affairs, Kiran Rijiju, participated in this event. Next is Aishwarya Sridhar. So recently Aishwarya Sridhar won the award in photography, and Aishwarya Sridhar became the first Indian to win the Wildlife Photographer of the Year award. So the award is Wildlife Photographer of Year award, and the name of image is Light of Passion. Anant Committee. So this committee was recently constituted by AICTE, that is All India Council for Technical Education, and this committee has been constituted to prepare Professional Engineers Bill, and this committee will be headed by MS Anant, and he is the former director of IIT Madras. So these are important points from this event. Next is Harish Kotecha. So recently philanthropist Harish Kotecha has been awarded this prestigious Sandranis Lifetime Achievement Award, and Harish Kotecha is of Indian origin, and he was awarded for his work in USA. Name of this award is Sendrani's Lifetime Achievement Award. And Harish Kotecha is the founder of HC4A, that is Hindu Charities for America. Next is NGT, that is National Green Tribunal. So first, it is a statutory body and it has been established as per the provisions of NGT Act of 2010. Recently it was in news because on October 18th, NGT completed 10 years. So that's why this is important. Please read more about NGT, that who is chairperson, how chairperson is appointed, what is the mandate of NGT, and how NGT is different from regular courts. Next is electoral bonds. We have already covered this. Next is Seema Gupta. So recently Seema Gupta has been named as the winner of Gold Stevie Award in Lifetime Achievement Business category. And Seema Gupta is associated to Power Grid Corporation of India. Next is Rajkiran Rai. So recently MD and CEO of Union Bank of India, Rajkiran Rai, has been appointed as the new chairperson of IBA. IBA stands for Indian Banks Association. And he is the successor of Rajneesh Kumar. That means Rajneesh Kumar was former chairperson of this IBA. And he was the chief of SBI, that is State Bank of India. Now, new SBI chief has been appointed and he is Dinesh Kumar Khara. So he is the new deputy chairperson of this IBA. Next is Ajay Kumar Bhalla. So Mr. Bhalla is the present Home Secretary. Why he was in news recently? Because he was given extension of tenure. So now his tenure has been extended till August 2021. Next is Jacinda Ardern. So she is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Recently she was in news because she won the elections in New Zealand. So she won the general elections and therefore she secured a second consecutive 3-year term as Prime Minister of New Zealand. Next is SLINEX. So as the name suggests, it is a joint maritime exercise between India and Sri Lanka. Next is SCO, that is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So recently the 7th meeting of law ministers of SCO members was organized and it was virtually hosted by Indian Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad. Next is R.L. Shukla. So Mr. Shukla was well-known historian and he passed away recently. Next is Umar Gul. So he is a cricketer from Pakistan. He is well-known fast bowler and recently he announced his retirement. Next is David Warner. So he is a cricketer from Australia and he was in news because of IPL. IPL is going on in UAE. So recently he became the first overseas player to score 5,000 runs in IPL. Please remember, he is the first overseas player to do so. Overall, he is the 4th player to do so. Before him, Indian players like Virat Kohli, Suresh Raina and Rohit Sharma has achieved this milestone. But if we talk about quickest batsman among all, so David Warner has achieved this milestone in the least number of matches. That means he achieved this milestone in 135th inning. Next is Seema Mustafa. So recently she was elected as the president of Editors Guild of India. And please remember that she is the first elected president of Editors Guild of India. Singapore became the first country to use facial recognition technique to pay taxes. DMRC. DMRC is Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. It was in news because it is conducting online survey to study the travel patterns, and this survey is conducted by Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. Next is NEEM-G. So this is e-auto, and such e-auto will be exported from Kerala to Nepal, and that is why it was in news. Next is ISA Solar Awards. So ISA stands for International Solar Alliance, and for the first time these awards were announced. So 3 important categories of these awards are Vishweshwaraya Award, Kalpana Chawla Award, and 3rd category is Diwakar Award. So this Vishweshwaraya Award was given to Japan for Asia Pacific region, and for Europe and other regions it was given to Netherlands. In case of Kalpana Chawla Award, this was given to Dr. Bhim Singh. So from Indian side, it was given to Dr. Bhim Singh, and he is from IIT Delhi. And from UAE, it was given to Dr. Aisha, so she is from UAE. In Diwakar Award category, it was given to Arpan Institute, and this is institute related to Haryana, and it was also given to Arushi Society. Next is University of Mysore. So recently this university was in news because Prime Minister addressed a convocation, and it was a 100 years convocation celebration. This university was established in 1916, and it was the first university in Karnataka, and overall it was the 6th university in our country. So because Prime Minister addressed the centenary convocation of this University of Mysore, it was in news. The Prime Minister was also in news as recently he launched 100 rupee coin to commemorate the birth anniversary of Vijayaraje Scindia, and these coins will be minted by Finance Ministry. Next is SANT missile. So SANT stands for Standoff Anti-Tank Missile. So as the name suggests, it is anti-tank, and it has been developed by DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization. It is being developed for IAF, that is Indian Air Force. Next is IMF. So recently IMF was in news because Andorra has applied for the membership of IMF, and Andorra became 190th member because Andorra has applied to become the 190th member of IMF. Andorra is a European country, and it is sandwiched between Spain and France. Next is On the Trail of Buddha, A Journey to the East. So this is a book by Dipankar Aron. Next is PhonePe. So recently PhonePe was in news because it has partnered with Bajaj Allianz General Insurance to provide car and bike insurance products. Next is Kaleshwaram Lift Irrigation Project. So this project is related to Telangana, and recently it was in news because of controversial environmental clearances. And in this context, NGT, that is National Green Tribunal, mentioned that the environmental clearance given to this project are in violation of the current rules. This is in Telangana, and it is world's largest multi-stage lift irrigation project. Next is Indian Bank. So recently this Indian Bank was in news because it has signed agreement with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs for this PM Swanidhi scheme. This PM Swanidhi scheme is for street vendors, and now Indian Bank has signed this agreement for the payment of subsidy to the street vendors under this scheme. Next is Food Safety Compliance System. So recently FSSAI announced that this Food Safety Compliance System will be extended in the entire country from 1st of November 2020. FSSAI is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Next is World Statistics Day. So it was on 20th of October. The theme was Connecting the World with Data We Can Trust. Apart from that, 20th of October was also celebrated as World Osteoporosis Day. So World Osteoporosis Day was on 20th of October, and the theme was That's Osteoporosis. Next is India's first multimodal logistic park. So it was recently inaugurated by Mr. Nitin Gadkari, who is our Minister of Road Transport. So this first multimodal logistic park is going to be in Assam, and it is in Jogighopa of Assam. So this is the name of place, and it is in Assam, and this first multimodal logistic park will be set up under Bharatmala Priyojana. Next is Mohan Bagan. So this is a football club. Recently this football club was in news because Hero I-League trophy was recently handed over to Mohan Bagan. Next is Frontier Technologies Cloud Innovation Center. So Niti Aayog is going to collaborate with Amazon Web Services for this Frontier Technologies Cloud Innovation Center. Odisha. The Chief Minister of Odisha is Naveen Patnaik, and recently the Chief Minister launched this Mo Vidyut portal. So Vidyut stands for electricity. So it is a portal for electricity consumer service, and it has been launched in Odisha recently. Next is International Migration Outlook. So this has been released by OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Headquarters is in Paris. Now as per this report, India is on second position in terms of number of migrants going to OECD countries and acquiring citizenship of these countries. So India is on second position in this context and China is on top position. Next is Lewis Hamilton. So recently LG signed Lewis Hamilton as a brand ambassador of LG Signature. On the other hand, recently Parle Ergo signed Priyanka Chopra as brand ambassador. Next is Portraits of Power. So this is autobiography of Mr. M.K. Singh. Mr. Singh is the current chairperson of 15th Finance Commission. Finance Commission is a constitutional organization and it is constituted by President as per the provisions of Article 280 of Indian Constitution. Next is Meri Saheli Initiative. So this is initiative by RPF, that is Railway Protection Force. So RPF Visakhapatnam has started this Meri Saheli initiative in AP Express. So this express is from Visakhapatnam to New Delhi and the objective of this initiative is to provide safety and security to the women passengers of the train. Next is COVIRAP. So IIT Kharagpur developed this COVIRAP technology for COVID-19. So this is a diagnostic test technology and it can provide results within 1 hour. So that is why it was in use. Next is 21st of October. So 21st of October was observed as Police Commemoration Day in our country. So National Police Commemoration Day was observed on 21st of October. Apart from that, 22nd of October was observed as International Shuttering Day. So this was observed as International Shuttering Awareness Day. And 20th of October was celebrated as International Chef Day. 21st of October was also celebrated as Udan Day. Udan stands for Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. So it is a scheme of Ministry of Civil Aviation and recently 4th anniversary of this Udan scheme was celebrated on 21st of October. Apart from that, 21st of October was also celebrated as Azad Hind Government Day. Actually, on this day, Azad Hind government was formed. So this time we celebrated 77th anniversary of formation of Azad Hind government. Next is Madhabi Puri Butch. So it is related to SEBI, that is Security and Exchange Board of India. Recently, SEBI constituted a committee for market data sharing and this committee is to be headed by Madhabi Puri Butch. Next is Vijayalakshmi Ramanan. So she was the first women officer of IAF and she passed away recently. Apart from her, Dr. Jayanta Madhab passed away and Dr. Jayanta was well-known economist. Next is Elavanil Valarivan. So she was in news because she won the gold medal. She is associated to shooting and recently she won the gold medal in 2020 Sheikh Russell International Air Rifle Championship and this event was organized by Bangladesh Shooting Federation. And next is Metaldex. So MCX, that is Multi-Commodity Exchange, launched India's first base metal futures index and the name of this index is Metaldex. So what is the name of index? It is Metaldex. Who launched it? It is MCX, that is Multi-Commodity Exchange. And why it is special? Because it is India's first base metal futures index. Previously, MCX launched Bullion Index and the name of this index was Bulldex. So this base metal futures index will have zinc, copper, nickel, lead, aluminium, INS Kavrati. So recently INS Kavrati was commissioned in Indian Navy and this INS Kavrati is ASW, that is Anti-Submarine Warfare Ship. So recently this was inducted into Indian Navy at Naval Dockyard in Visakhapatnam. Next is Conduct of Election Rules 1961. So recently these rules were in news because central government increased the election campaign expenditure limit by 10% for all future elections. What does that mean? See, whenever there is an election, candidates of different parties campaign. Therefore, there is a limit of expense on those campaigns. Now that limit has been increased by 10% and this has been done by amending the Conduct of Election Rules 1961. So recently Law Ministry amended this Conduct of Election Rules and it has increased the 10% limit and it has increased the limit by 10%. So what was the previous limit? See, there are two different categories For smaller states, the previous limit was 20 lakhs. Now it is 22 lakhs. For those states where the limit was 28 lakhs, now it is going to be 30.8 lakhs. So this is for state elections. This is for small states and this is for big states. Similarly, for parliamentary elections, there is 2 limit. For bigger states, the limit was 70 lakhs. Now it is 77 lakh. For smaller states, the limit was 54 lakh. Now it is 59 lakhs. Now in this context, Election Commission of India constituted a committee to examine the issues related to expenditure limit of candidates. And this committee will have 2 members. One is Harish Kumar and another one is Umesh Sinha. Next is YSR Bima Initiative. So this is for BPL families. BPL stands for below poverty line families. Bima stands for insurance and it is a scheme by Andhra Pradesh government. Next is 23rd of October. So 23rd of October was celebrated as World Snow Leopard Day. Next is KJ Muhammad. So he was well-known playback singer, music director and he passed away recently. He was also known as Zero Babu. So he was playback singer and music director. Next is 3M Young Scientist Challenge. So recently Anika Chebrolu won this 3M Young Scientist Challenge of USA and Anika Chebrolu is Indian American student. Next is Outstanding Young Person 2020. So recently this award was given to Dr. Jajini Varghese and she was given this award for her work in the field of breast cancer. Now Dr. Jajini Varghese is UK based Indian origin plastic surgeon. Why she was in news? Because recently she was selected for this Outstanding Young Person of 2020 award. Next is Smart Blackboard Scheme. So this is a scheme by Tamil Nadu government. Objective is to digitize the education and to improve learning experience for the students. Next is IND Springboard. So recently Indian Bank collaborated with IIT Madras Incubation Cell. Why this collaboration was done? To provide funding support to startups. Next is India's first sand dune parks. So India's first sand dune park is going to be in Goa and recently World Bank announced financial support of 3 crore for these sand dune parks in Goa. Next is cost of plate of food. So recently this report was released by United Nations World Food Programme. As per this report, on an average, an Indian spend 3.5% of daily income for a plate of food. And this is on the basis of report cost of a plate of food. This report is by United Nations World Food Programme. Next is खुशियों की करें जिम्मेदारी से तैयारी. So this is a campaign by Yash Bank. The objective is to improve digital finance and to provide support to the customers for this digital finance so that they can spend more in this festive season. Next is Pagong base in Sikkim. So recently ITBP, that is Indo-Tibetan Border Police, started cycling expedition from this Pagong base in Sikkim. ITBP is a paramilitary force and it is a CAPF, that is Central Armed Police Force. It is under MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs. Next is Godwit bird. So recently this bird was in news because of longest non-stop flight and it covered the distance of 12,200 kilometers from Alaska in USA to Auckland in New Zealand. Now how the movement of this bird was tracked? It was tracked with the help of a 5-gram satellite and the satellite tag was fitted on the lower back of this bird and that is how its movement were tracked. So now this bird holds the record of longest non-stop flight and it covered the distance of 12,200 kilometers in 11 days. Next is Bharat Rides. So Maharashtra Metro, that is Maha Metro, released this Bharat Rides application and with the help of this application the metro passengers can book auto rickshaws. So this can act as a feeder service. Next is Integrated Model Agricultural Village Scheme. So this is a scheme related to Uttarakhand government. For that purpose, Uttarakhand has partnered with NABARD. Now what is the objective of this scheme? Objective is to provide financial support to the farmers for advanced machinery so that the productivity in agriculture sector can be improved. And for that purpose, Uttarakhand government has partnered with NABARD. NABARD will provide financial support. Name of scheme is Integrated Model Agricultural Village Scheme or In Hindi, it is Ekakrit Adarsh Krishi Gram Yojana. Next is Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So recently, MORD, that is Ministry of Rural Development, declared the list of top 30 districts in the country for the implementation of this Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. And this list has been topped by Mandi district of Himachal Pradesh. That means this district is on top position in the implementation of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Next is Chennai Rail. So this metro rail of Chennai was in news because it became the first in our country to use high-end disinfectant to fight COVID-19, and it used microplasma oxidation system. Actually, this technology is used in the defense and medical applications, and for the first time any metro service is going to use this, and this metro service is Chennai Metro Rail. Next is Digital First program. So recently MasterCard partnered with Atlantis to expand its Digital First program in India. Next is Rajiv Kumar panel. So this is a panel of Niti Aayog, and this will be headed by Niti Aayog Vice Chairperson Rajiv Kumar. And this panel has been constituted for reforms in urban planning education system. Next is 24th of October. So it was celebrated as United Nations Day. It was also observed as World Polio Day. And the theme of Polio Day was a win against polio is a win for global health. Right now, only two countries, that is Afghanistan and Pakistan, have the transmission of wild polio virus. Apart from that, 24th of October was also celebrated as World Development Information Day. Answer in comment box on which day World Iodine Deficiency Day was celebrated. Next is Nanhi Durga. So this is the name of mascot which has been released by Durg district of Chhattisgarh to spread awareness about COVID-19. Next is Speed Test Global Index. So this index is recently released, and as per that index, South Korea has the highest mobile internet speed. India is on 131st position. Next is Grey List. So it was in news because of FATF. FATF is Financial Action Task Force. Recently it was in news because Pakistan is going to stay in the Grey List till 2021 February month, and then it will be reviewed again. Next is My Ember. So this is a new app for women's safety, and it has been released by VI Foundation, that is Vodafone India Foundation. So this foundation is the CSR arm of Vodafone India. What is CSR? It is corporate social responsibility. So this is the branch which is responsible for these social responsibilities. Name of app is My Ember. This app has been launched by VI Foundation in association with NASCOM and UN Women. Next is Luis Arce. So Luis Arce is going to be the new president of Bolivia. Bolivia is a country in South America. Next is Meri Prarambhik Kahaniya. So this is a book by our Minister of Education Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. Next is International Labour Organization. So ILO was in news because India assumed the chairmanship of ILO after a gap of 35 years. As recently, Apurva Chandra has been elected as the chairperson of this governing body of ILO. Mahesh Kanodia. So Mahesh Kanodia was Gujarati musician and singer, and Mahesh Kanodia passed away recently. Apart from him, recently Dr. Jayanta Madhav passed away. Dr. Jayanta Madhav was well-known economist. Next event is Alpha Conde. So Alpha Conde won the presidential term for third time, and he is going to be the president of Guyana. Next is Bimal Julka. So Bimal Julka has been appointed as the chairperson of Federation of Indian Fantasy Sports. Next is Wavel Ramkalawan. So recently he has been elected as the president of Seychelles. He is of Indian origin. Next is Bags on Wheels. So this is an initiative by Indian Railways. To be specific, it is an initiative of Northern Railways. As the name suggests, it has been started as a service for the passengers for their luggage delivery. So it is related to luggage delivery of passengers, and it has been started by Northern Railways. Next is Toyota Kirloskar Motor and Bank of Baroda. So these two decided to collaborate, and as per this collaboration, Bank of Baroda will provide the financial services for Toyota Kirloskar Motors. That means if anyone want to purchase vehicles of this series, Bank of Baroda will provide financial services. Now recently this Toyota Kirloskar was also in news as it appointed Ayushman Khurrana as the brand ambassador for its SUV urban cruiser. Next is reservation roster management system. So recently this reservation roster management system was inaugurated in Chandigarh and it has been developed by NIC, that is National Informatics Center. It is under MEITY, that is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Next is collaboration between IIT Jodhpur and NHAI, that is National Highway Authority of India. So this collaboration is for better highways. This NHAI is under Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Recently, NHAI was also in news because of Harit Path app. Next is Greenstone International Nature Photography Contest. So, Raket Kareem from Bangladesh won this 12th edition of Greenstone International Nature Photography Contest. And Mohammad Nofel from UAE was on second position, while Kartike Grover from India was on third position in this photography contest. Next is New Space Center in Germany. So NATO, that is North Atlantic Treaty Organization, will set up its new space center in Germany to counter the Russian and Chinese threats. Recently, NATO was in news because it completed 70 years. Next is Flash Flood Guidance System. So this system has been designed by IMD, that is India Meteorological Department. It is under Ministry of Earth Sciences. Presently, Dr. Mrityunjay Mohapatra is the Director General of IMD. It was set up in 1875. Present Minister of Earth Sciences is Dr. Harshvardhan. So, India has launched this Flash Flood Guidance Services for India and for other South Asian countries to provide impact-based forecasting. Last news is related to Vigilance Awareness Week. So, the week from 27th of October to 2nd of November will be celebrated as Vigilance Awareness Week. Actually, every year CVC, that is Central Vigilance Commission, celebrate the week as Vigilance Awareness Week, and it is celebrated in that week in which the birthday of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel falls. And the theme of this year's Vigilance Awareness Week is Vigilant India, Prosperous India. And on this occasion, CBI, that is Central Bureau of Investigation, is going to organize a national conference on vigilance and anti-corruption. Apart from that, 27th of October was also celebrated as World Day for Audio Visual Heritage, and the theme was Your Window to World. BRICS Parliamentary Forum. So BRICS is association of 5 countries, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. This parliamentary forum was under the chairmanship of Russia. The Indian delegation, that means Indian parliamentary delegation, was led by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. Next is 2+2 dialogue. So recently, third 2+2 dialogue between India and USA was held in New Delhi. And during this dialogue, BECA was signed. Now, a detailed video on the topics of BECA, LEMOA, COMCASA, ISA, 2+2, Quad and Malabar. So a detailed video explaining all these topics is already uploaded on Civils Academy. You can check that for more information. Next is 27th of October. So 27th of October is celebrated as Infantry Day by Indian Army in Jammu and Kashmir. So it is Infantry Day by Indian Army in Jammu and Kashmir. On the other hand, 28th of October is celebrated as International Animation Day. Next is High Level Committee on Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur. So to commemorate the 400th birth anniversary of Guru Tegh Bahadur, the central government has constituted a high level committee, and this committee will be headed by Prime Minister. On the other hand, Home Secretary is going to be the member secretary of this committee. So Prime Minister will be the head and Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla is going to be the member secretary of this committee. Next is QR codes. So recently RBI, that is our central bank and bank regulator, has barred payment system operators from launching any new QR codes for payment transactions. Actually, right now we have two major QR code domains. One is UPI QR code, another one is Bharat QR code. Now recently a committee was set up by RBI and this committee was under Deepak Pathak. So this committee had recommended that we should continue with these two existing QR codes, and in that context RBI has barred payment system operators from launching any new QR codes for payment transactions. Next is Naresh Kanodia. So, he is well-known Gujarati film star turned politician and he passed away recently. In addition to him, recently his brother also passed away. He was Mahesh Kanodia. Next is Aditya Puri. So, SDFC Bank MD and CEO Aditya Puri retired. New Chief Executive and MD of SDFC Bank is Sridhar Jagdishan. Next is Micro ATM Service. So, to provide ATM services in rural areas, Meghalaya has launched this scheme of Micro ATM Service. That means small ATM machine will provide banking services in rural areas. Next is world's first rollable TV. So this has been launched by LG and this has been launched in South Korea. Next is Center of Excellence for Tribal Welfare. So recently 2 Center of Excellence were inaugurated by Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda. So one of these Center of Excellence is going to be in Maharashtra. Another one is going to be in Jharkhand. And this has been done by a collaboration of MOTA, that is Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and Art of Living Foundation. Dharani Portal. So recently Telangana Chief Minister inaugurated this and it is a portal for land and property registration. And recently it has been launched by Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Next is 20 Riyal banknote. So recently Saudi Arabia released a 20 Riyal banknote to commemorate its presidency of G20 summit. So it is important to note that Saudi Arabia is the president of G20 for this year. And to commemorate this occasion, recently Saudi released a 20 Riyal banknote and Saudi Arabia has removed Pakistan occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan from the map of Pakistan. It is important to note that few months ago, Pakistan published new maps by exaggerating its territorial claims. Next is Dr. Tulsidas Chugh Award. So, recently, Dr. Satish Mishra has been selected for this Dr. Tulsidas Chugh Award. Next is SBI, that is State Bank of India, JBIC, that is Japan Bank for International Cooperation. So, these 2 institutions signed up a loan agreement of up to $1 billion. So, this way, this loan will facilitate the operations of car companies of Japan in India. So this will help in providing better cooperation between Japan Bank for International Cooperation and between SBI. Now recently this SBI was in news as SBI Card in association with DMRC, that is Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, launched a contactless multi-purpose card. Next is Night of the Restless Spirits. So this is a book and the author of this book is Sarbpreet Singh. Next is Sumangal. So this is an initiative started by Odisha government. So this Sumangal platform has been launched by Odisha Chief Minister Mr. Naveen Patnaik and this is a platform to provide cash incentives for the promotion of inter-caste marriage. Next is The Fixture. So this is a book and the author of this book is Suman Dubey. Next is Secure Application for Internet. So recently Indian Army developed a simple messaging application. So this is a messaging application by Indian Army and the name of this platform is Secure Application for Internet, that is SIGN. So this application will help in providing secure communication. Next is World's Highest Altitude Cloud Data Center. So this world's highest altitude cloud computing data center is going to be in Tibet and China is working on this data center. That means China is building this world's highest altitude cloud computing data center in Tibet. Next is Wrocław City Council. So it is in Poland. Recently why it was in news? Because a square in this city council has been named after well-known poet Harivansh Rai Bachchan. So he was the father of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan and he was a well-known poet and his one poem is quite famous and it is Madhushala. Bharat Pay. So recently Bharat Pay announced the launch of digital gold on its platform and for that purpose it has decided to collaborate with Safe Gold. So this platform will allow customers to buy and sell gold. Next is Public Financial Management System. So recently Jammu and Kashmir became the first union territory in our country to operationalize this PFMS at district level. So it is the first UT, that is first Union Territory to do so. Next is global art competition. So recently Anzar Mustain Ali from Bangladesh won this global art competition, and this competition was organized by ICCR. What is ICCR? It is Indian Council of Cultural Relations. Next is Sri Lanka. So recently Sri Lanka was in news because ICICI Bank decided to close its banking business in Sri Lanka. Next is IIT Kanpur signed an agreement with ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India, for the restoration of monuments. So it is for restoration work in the monuments. ASI is Archaeological Survey of India. It is under Ministry of Culture. Next is Tamil Nadu. So recently Tamil Nadu was in news because it decided to provide 7.5% reservation to the students of government schools so that they can get admissions in undergraduate medical courses. So the students of government schools will get the benefit of this reservation provision. Next is 145th birth anniversary. So on 31st of October, we are going to celebrate 145th birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Next is Paytm Payments Bank. So it was in news because it has issued approximately 5 million FASTags, and therefore it is the largest issuer of FASTags in our country. Next is Plastic Premier League. So this is new and innovative initiative by Indore in Madhya Pradesh. So as per this initiative, a Plastic Premier League tournament will be organized, and the team which is going to collect the most single-use plastic in this tournament will win the trophy. That means separate teams will be formed and they will collect the single-use plastic, and whosoever is going to collect the maximum amount will be the winner. Next is Sivanadar Foundation. So recently this Sivanadar Foundation was in news because of Sivanadar University, and it is going to be in Chennai. Now this is going to be the first private university to be legislated in Tamil Nadu after 90 years. So that is why it is very significant. Last university which was legislated was Annamalai University, and it was legislated in 1928. Next is Microsoft NSDC. So Microsoft and NSDC decided to tie up to empower 1 lakh women by providing them digital skills. What is NSDC? It is National Skill Development Corporation. Next is onion. So recently government banned the export of onion seeds. Why this was done? This was done because of the shortage of onion seeds ahead of next sowing season. Next is mandatory packaging in jute materials. So recently cabinet extended the norms for mandatory packaging in jute material. Now what is jute? It is also known as golden fiber. India is the world's largest producer of raw jute, and as per the guidelines from the central government, 100% of the food grains and 20% of the sugar shall be packed in these jute bags. So there are multiple advantages. First and foremost is that it will give promotion to the jute sector. Second, this will help in reducing our dependency on plastic material for packaging. Next is Chile referendum. So recently referendum was organized in Chile, and the country voted in the favor of rewriting constitution. It is a South American country. Next is Yashwardhan K. Sinha. So recently he was appointed as Chief Information Commissioner. Apart from him, Uday Mahorkar was appointed as Information Commissioner, and these appointments are done as per the provisions of Right to Information Act. So these were the most important events. Now homework. Please read about Ramsar Convention because of new entries, as recently Uttarakhand got its first site under this convention. Please read about DRIP initiative, that is Dam Rehabilitation and Improvement Project, and please read about core sector industries, green firecrackers, ESSER, that is Annual State of Education Report, and FSDC, Life in Miniature Project, and please read about these three, that is Operation Gulmarg, Regional Road Drug Discovery, and EWIN. It is related to vaccine. So in this context, please read about COVAX, Gavi, EPCI, BECA, plasma therapy, and Ramsar Convention. So these were the most important events. Thank you, and that's all for the day.